sneeze in a minute. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Wait. Welcome. Here we go. Happy Sunday. I might do it again even. Hold on. Hi, Sniggle. Oh, Serenity came and went. Okay. Got it. Oof. Okay. Sorry. Still getting over that sick. Man. That is something else. Okay. I know, right? Hi, Tabitha. How are ya? Thank you for the bless you. I'm at the end of a cold. Hopefully the end of a cold. How are you guys? How's your Sunday? How's your weekend, I guess? Okay. I also got the chair, so now it's at a height I'm not used to yet, so I'm gonna have to actually raise my desk more, which is funny. It's fun because I bought the chair because the other chair couldn't go up high enough, and now this chair is too high. And when I told Gabe that, he rolled his eyes. He's like, "Really? Girl? Figure your junk out." Everyone is sick in my house, and I'm trying to avoid getting sick, but everyone coughs in open air, so... Oh no! Sniggle, tell them to cover it up. Why? They know better, right? You're supposed to cover it. Okay, Babkins. Hello, Mango. Welcome. It's been a while. Sorry if I sound kind of rough. Sick. I know. Okay, I actually have some penciling left to do on this. I know that's kind of unheard of, but Gabe is in the shower right now. He just got back from the gym, so have your little fantasies while you can. I don't know where anything to say. Once again, I'm very fog-brained. Hold on. Hey, Miltsu. Not too bad. Still sick, but getting better. Yeah, Sniggle, we got it a week ago, actually. It sucks because we got the new gym membership, and then I was all revved up to go, and then I got sick. So Gabe's been going. Hopefully I'll be able to go tomorrow. I hate it when I can't go. It makes me all feel weird, especially like I'm wasting money. I'm one of those people that gets really irked when they waste money, so, you know, I don't like to do that. What all can you see on this side? That's a pencil. Okay. That sucks, Sniggle, I'm sorry. Hey, get one of those masks. Those, Asians are always wearing them, I don't know why, but they have the like face mask things you can buy, so you know, you don't get sick. Maybe try that. So Sniggle, you went to work last night, right? How was that? Today I am working on this bearded dragon commission I got. He is a bearded dragon. That way, so wheel should be over here. Oh no, Sniggle. How come you couldn't sleep? You're just too anxious or revved up or what? Meltsu, how you doing? How's your day? Oh, really, Sniggle? That's good. That's always good. Yeah, I hope you don't get sick, though. Luckily, mine really isn't that bad. Like, when I get sick, I usually don't get very sick. And I mean, like, it's just really basic nose and throat stuff. It's not even, like, hardcore throat or anything. It's really not that bad. Like, I got lucky considering everybody else is getting the flu. I did not want the flu. God, no. Especially when Gabe and I don't really have health insurance, so... Oh no, Sniggle. I hate that. That's actually probably my biggest pet peeve in the whole world, is when you haven't slept really well at all and you finally get to sleep and you have to wake up, like, within an hour. I actually woke up at 9:59 today, a minute before my alarm went off. I don't understand what was up with that. I was like, damn it, I gotta get up. Oh, how'd the brush work, Meltsu? And usually getting up at 10 wouldn't bother me. It's just because I'm sick, I know I need more sleep, and I can tell I need it, you know? Oh, good, Meltsu. I'm glad you like it. Glad it's working out. Oh no, Sniggle. So wait, then they came into work, so then they were in the same situation you were, right? Where they didn't sleep and you didn't sleep, so none of you slept. Right? Isn't that what you're saying? Shouldn't you guys then have some sort of camaraderie? It's like, you didn't sleep, I didn't sleep either. You want to screw up at our job? Yes. And you just do it. You do your best. Maybe you screw up. I always get confused if I should actually factor in a tail hole in pants for tails. It's a very difficult thing to have to think about, I guess, but not really. Or if I should just put a hole in the pants. I like it if it's actually really well integrated, actually. Hey Sniggle, how popular is that guy you were talking about on Twitch? Did you notice how many watchers he had, or followers or anything? Curious. Maybe we can befriend him and talk to him about the fan art thing or whatever. Oh wow. So he's kind of a big deal. That's cool. Is he still working on the one poster with all the anime chicks together, or what is he working on? Do you happen to know his schedule too? All this curious stuff. bearded dragons are crazy. I've got this really long toe. It's like their index toe. Hey, Peach! How are ya? Oh no, Snaggle. How you doing today, Peach? How's your weekend? So Peach, I just read your email. You might want to read the part in my document about pricing, and just to make sure your prices are around the same range, because those postcards could actually really hurt you if your prices are higher, like $10 and above, and if your postcards are priced at $3, people are gonna just buy those because they're the cheapest. So that's why I was saying if you're gonna have them as a free with purchase, if you all your stuff is like 10 to 15 bucks and above. Otherwise, selling postcards in a pack for at least 10 bucks is usually a better thing. But yeah, I would definitely check that part out. I go into better detail there about that. But Facilis, thank you for the host. Welcome, hello. Also, Gabe is here, but not. Are you gonna be eating?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he'll be on a little bit. Yeah, so the sooner you read all that, let me know. I know you got a thing coming up this weekend, but maybe there's some stuff we can do last minute. Also, for signs, I think I have this written in there too. Don't handwrite signs. Put them out. Even if your handwriting's really nice, it's better to have big, bold font that people are used to seeing than to accidentally, like, not have people be able to read it. And always have your signs really close to people too.
I like to think of it like when you go into Walmart, you know?
Yeah.
Or Target, it's like big, bold letters, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have short and concise and bold. Miltsu says, hi, Gabe.
Hello, Miltsu.
It's okay, Peach. As long as, you know, you read it before we get into stuff. Because I can't really go into all the other mentorship stuff until you read the doc. And then, like I said, if you see anything that's kind of a red flag or you want me to answer some questions you have about it, awesome. The more questions, the better. Hi, guys. Razatron, Chupa Echoes, Micah Allenbuck, Awak. Yeah, hi. Sharian. How you guys doing? Thank you for the mini raid. I appreciate it. How are you guys today? If my throat goes in and out, or my voice rather, I apologize. I'm getting over a cold. Hence my little fogginess in my brain too. If I say or or pause a lot, it's because I'm delayed. Today we're doing a bearded dragon that I got a commission for, which I'm thankful for because I like doing cats and dogs, but man, you get a lot of cats and dogs. When your main job is doing pet commissions, and you've got like 30 to do, and the majority are cats and dogs, you get tired of them kind of quick. But regardless, they're still fun to do. It's just really fun when you get a weird one. Miltsu asked, how are you, Gabe?
I'm good.
Gabe's good.
I'm hungry.
He's hungry. He just got back from the gym. And I am filled with jealousy because I wish I could go to the gym too, but I am sad. I like going to the gym because it really clears my head and really balances out my energy and mood. If any of you guys find yourself really anxious or aggressive, agitated, stuff like that, the gym can really help with that. So, highly recommend that. Because with me, I get moody a lot, and if I don't go to the gym, it's worse. So, make sure to go there. It's just when I'm sick, I can't. No, that's okay, Corey. Oh, there's a new Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? Oh, wow. I didn't know they were going to reboot that. That's great. And I'm glad it was heartwarming. That's wonderful. Is that on TV, or is that on one of the, like, Hulu or something, or... Where'd you see that? Oh, 85 degrees. Oof. 85 is a tough one. I commend you for riding your bike still in 85. But damn. Do you have one of those Mr. Spray bottles with the little fans on them? Those seem to help. Oh. So wait, is it a movie, Corey, or is it the show just kind of rebooted? Do they have a new cast, or is it the old cast? Sniggle said to calm down with your vigorous cleaning, Gabbo.
Sorry.
He's making eggs. Oh, it's a show with a new cast. Cute.
What is it?
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy has a new cast and show.
Oh, cool.
That was it was a really fun show. I liked it. It was really cute.
I do miss that blonde one though.
The main one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I liked him a lot. He was great.
Yeah. I want to hang out with that guy.
He seems cool. He's very upbeat.
I don't even remember the rest.
Yeah.
He's like
Might
the
as
Justin
well.
Timberlake.
Yeah. Basically.
Remember to cook your food at 105 degrees, yes.
I think I'm gonna probably take a nap after the stream today because I'm not really with it because I'm so tired from being sick. It's weird how tired you can get from just being sick because your body's working and you don't even know it. It's really weird. I always find that weird. Miltzu said, Gabe, what the heck?
What the heck? What, Miltsuk? Come get me.
Thank you for the follows, Razatron and Sharayan. Sharayan? Sharayan? Sharayan. Did I say that right? Sharayan?
Shibuya show.
Hey, Faith. How are ya? Look what I'm doing today. It's a beardy. Oh, I gotta add in a squash. They wanted a squash. They just said squash, though. I don't know what kind of squash. Faith, what kind of squash do you feed your beardy? I guess if I just do a normal looking squash, I'm safe. He's pumped. Thank you, Peach. Hi, Ushi. Ah, butternut squash. Thank you. I figured that might be the one, but I wasn't sure. Do you have to cook it for him, or do you just give it to him raw? Because I know when it's raw, it's kind of hard. Fatty squash. You got those cute little knobs at the top. How short are you, Meltsu? Meltsu's telling you to fight her. Because she's small and can avoid you. Faith, how did that commission go? Did that end up happening for you, the door commission, or how'd that end up? If you want to talk about it, totally up to you. I think some crickets in here. I don't know how morbid this looks. Hopefully not too bad. These little guys in here, they wanted crickets. I don't think this isn't gonna look morbid. Alright, Peach, sounds good. Fresh out of Oh, true. Don't they have like bones on the top of their mouth? That kind of. Oh my god. Maybe, Meltsu, maybe. 59 inches, 12. So Meltsu, you're about 4 feet 9 inches. Wow. So she is saying she'd avoid you pretty easily.
Avoid me?
Yeah, probably darting in and out of like your legs, sort of thing. Like you're a Goliath, she's a David, so to speak.
I guess that would work.
I think we talked about how messed up America's measurements are, yeah. In the past. I'm sure, yeah. She said, Gabe, don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
Though we don't know if you were actually laughing. The lighting's really off today. I apologize, guys. Apologize.
Too late.
It's too late. I'll move this over so I can see what you guys are saying. She said, I am not laughing. I'm still working on the details, actually. My grandmother, I'm trying to get her to help give her a major discount. She thinks I'll do it. Well, if she wants to pay you, though, usually if you're like, oh no, you know, I know you, your family, friend, what have you, I want to give you a discount. And if they say no, just let them do it. Like, if you can't keep going back and forth, really, because if they really want to pay you, let them pay you.
I give them one chance.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if,
yeah.
if
So you offer it if they don't take the discount, then be like, okay.
if I'm at a dinner and they're like, I'm like, yeah, don't worry. I'll say, don't worry, let me get this. And they're like, no, let me get it. And I'm like,
alright.
Are you sure? Yeah, let me get it. All right. I'm not gonna fight
That's
you.
it, yeah.
That's money.
That is such money. Yep, if she wants to, let her. Because a lot of people get, Joy? joy out of that, especially if they're family. They feel like they're supporting you and your dreams and all that kind of junk. So I'd say let her do it. If she really wants to do it, let her do it. Plus, in the future, like, I think if you kept doing that with people too, you'd eventually be like, man, I'm not making as much as I should, blah, blah. So give them one chance. If they don't want the discount, let them do what they want to do. Did she say what kind of door she wanted? I'd be really curious what kind of doors people ask for. Also, really quick side note, for anybody that like makes money somewhere, or if you go to a convention and make a certain amount of money, never share that crap online or anything. It just looks really bad. Share it with your close friends if they ask. Usually you don't want to be the one to bring up how much you've made because it makes you look bad. So, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of obvious, but also at the same time I feel like people, I don't know, some people still do it. It's weird. Oh, good faith, okay. No, Sniggle. That's not okay.
What?
His mom gave a discount for his work. Tell her not to do that.
That's awesome.
Be like, Mom, I'm my own businessman. Please, you're not my manager. God, Mom, why do you always do this?
Well, I mean, does he pay rent?
Oh, good point. Sniggle, do you pay rent to your mom? Because if you don't, she might have a say in that. And
I mean, granted, she shouldn't be doing that. But
she shouldn't be, but still, if you're there, I'd never do that again. Mom, I can get my own business. God, leave my 401k alone. Whoa, he bought them a car.
Huh?
He bought them a car.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you tell your mom to shut the hell up.
Gabe says to tell your mom to shut the hell up.
No, shut up,
Shut up, Mom. You always do this.
I'm going to the quad, Mom.
Leave me alone.
I imagine him being like Biff Tannen.
Oh, yeah. I can
Like-
see that.
Like, Grandma!
Aw. I felt bad for Biff and his grandma.
I felt bad for his grandma. He's probably
No,
a real...
she was remember? She's like, Biff!
Yeah.
Remember? She was
Where
difficult.
are you going? Mom or Grandma?
Grandma!
Said I'm going to pick up my car.
But he must have had a hard home life. That's
Yeah.
why he's a bully.
If he's living with Grandma.
If he's living with grandma,
Yeah.
maybe something happened,
It's like he's been shit on for generations.
Yeah,
If you think about it.
he really has. Can we take a moment for Biff Tannen right now? Because the guy, I think he's been ill-represented.
He's a victim of his environment.
He's a victim of circumstance, man.
Mhm.
Granted, he should have known better how to treat people despite his own shortcomings. However, he also is a victim.
I mean, let's be honest. Who likes manure? No one.
No one. I mean, maybe some farmers miss
Mhm.
it when they're not on the farm. Hi, Sophia! Oh, we're not in a house. We're in an apartment, but it's fantastic. Just this morning I was thinking about how much I just like it. Being alone-ish. I mean, being with Gabe is still being with somebody, but I feel more alone because I don't have, 6 other roommates around or whatever, so. And I love those people, it's just I can't do roommates anymore. I'm past the point of being able to. So this has been fantastic for me. I feel like on the inside I'm slowly unclenching like my anxiety about people, and it's like I'm starting to relax more, so that's nice. Granted, everything's basically still in boxes, but you know, it's gonna be for like, what, a month? Isn't that normal? Hey, Cass. Cass, do you stream today? You stream on Sundays, right? Oh, good, Faye. Loose art, good. Ooh. That's cool, Faith. I like that she's giving you a lot of detail. Yes, house. It's just nice to have more than one room, too. And an actual kitchen that has my stuff in it that I can do what I want with. I'm so particular that I'm a terrible person to live with. I really am. I like certain things in certain places and all that junk. Gabe, did you see they tagged you in something with brushes?
When?
They tagged you like a million times in Discord. I don't remember where. Maybe it's supplies. Yeah, it's in supplies. 3 people tagged you. Hey, Brandy! Aw, thanks for stopping by on your break. That's really nice. Thank you. Oh no, Cass, are you sick too? Did you get sick? Or is it family stuff? Okay. So we got the squash. I added in the squash. Got in some of these. Did you turn off the burner? Oh, Brandy! Thank you for the subscription. You get a little dancer sub shrub. He's a sub shrub. And he dances. He's got these little nubbies. I love these shrub nubs. Oh, I'll rub them for luck for you. Shrub nub! And then you get the melancholy clover. He's so melancholy. But thank you so much, Brandy. Get a little thing too. Thank you. Sup, shrub? He's the best shrub. No other shrubs compare. Sup, shrub for life. Oh man, I bet they have shirts of him, don't they? He's a phenom.
Maybe.
I'd like a shirt with the sup shrub with it. I need to make something that looks like him that's not him so I can have, you know, what's the word? Ownership. That's what I was thinking. Alright, I'm gonna do the wood grain on the panels and then I think I might start coloring. Any highlights from the gym, Gabe?
No.
No. Anything?
It's like 95% white people.
Is it worse than Gold's? I thought Gold's
Yeah.
was too.
No. It was much more mixed, but this is like, it was like 75% at Gold's. But this is like, there was one lady that was like of Asian origin.
Yeah.
And then me. And everyone else is blonde hair, blue eyed.
Really?
Yeah, it's like,
We're only an hour away from
I know.
Gold's. Wow, that's so weird.
It's like
That's so...
like a German community. Everyone looks Dutch. They've all got that Dutch look, you know?
I could see that.
That Wisconsin Dutch.
Yeah, the noses and such.
I'm not like little lips, like little pursed lips.
Little pursed lips.
And then it's like a really specific look. It's like they got little like duck lips, but they're really tiny duck lips. And
Wait,
then they have
Eat your food first. You sound gross.
and then it like it dips in, or they have a really like protruded chin, which then gives them like a really like
Fine job.
a really deep under the lip part.
Yeah.
It's really deep. But I think it's just because there's a really like small part right here.
Yeah.
So it just looks really deep, and then they got like this chin that goes up.
There's a... So, yeah, there's usually a Gabo cam, Sophia. It's just... Gabe's eating right now, and no one wants to see that.
No, but
And for the beginning of the stream, he wasn't here. Like, he just got back recently, so...
I was getting gains.
Aw, Brandy, thank you. We look forward to finding you here. A hairdryer hanger. So you can put it on your desk. So you can use it for your watercolors, you mean? Whoa, we need one of those. It's funny when Gabe says there's a look to the Wisconsin people. I don't really see it, but then again, I am what I am, so maybe I'm similar to it. But he says I look different than the Wisconsin people, but I don't understand. So Faith has a hairdryer hanger for her desk. So she's got like a little holster. Where'd you get it, Faith? Or where'd your mom get it? Gabe was getting buff. Yeah, because you know Gabe always pulls out that dryer for his watercolors during the streams.
I imagine it's probably meant more for brushes, like long brushes, maybe?
No, I bet it's for actual like hair dryers. Ladies have weird stuff.
For drafting tables?
No. It's probably for a counter for a hair dryer for ladies. But she probably put it on her desk, which is brilliant. And like I said, Gabe needs that. So any information would be helpful. That sounds awesome. Let's put more down here. I'll throw Gabe's cam back on when he's done eating. Because he has this tendency to eat with his mouth open, or talk with his mouth open, so I don't want to subject y'all to that. Sniggle, do you work tonight? And if so, are you going to go to sleep at some time, or how does that work? She got it at the dollar store. Thank you, Faith. Ah, true, Corey. Very true. They do have that little loop. I don't know if Gabe's does, though. Gabe's is one of those ones that, like, snaps over. It's like a travel one. Does it? Grab it real quick and see if on the handle it's got a little
I don't know
loop.
what you're talking about.
Your hair dryer. Please pay attention.
Actually, I'm eating.
It doesn't look like
It doesn't
it's got
have anything. No.
Well, no, look on the handle.
No.
No, it's like a compact one.
Usually, you don't have to undo it. I just wanted to point at it for you. Usually on this part, there's a loop at
Oh,
the bottom.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is like a travel one.
Yeah, his is a travel one. It like compresses. Does he have a handle anywhere on his desk? Handle?
Handle.
What kind of a handle? I mean,
It's a really old drafting table, and I'm missing like half of the parts that belong with
oh, you know what? We could probably get one of those cup holders.
it. Yeah.
Because it would probably fit in a cup holder. Yeah. Oh, that'd be smart. Yeah, Trouba Echoes. There you go. The cup hook. Yeah, we could get one of those and just hook it on there. That'd work. Hacks, y'all. Hacks. Hacksaws. Like a drink koozie. Yes, like a drink koozie. Very similar. I think that would work quite well, actually. Has anybody done that, there's a gender swap face app that's going around right now on Facebook. And it's a really good one, but it's super, like, the men get way better ones than the women do. Like, Gabe got this really hot chick with, like, lots of makeup and stuff and whatever, and then I did mine, and I'm, like, over 40, And I've got, you know, like 5 o'clock shadow. My hair's half gray. And then all the other girls I was seeing too had guys that were like older. None of them were like dashing young men or anything. They were all like old dudes. But the guys, when they do the swap, they're always like hot. I don't get it. If anybody wants a link to it, I can provide a link. It's just really weird. I'd be interested to know if anyone else gets old versions of themselves. Like mine ended up looking like Bruce Willis. Which, I love Bruce Willis, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to look like Bruce Willis. Here, there's the thing. It's a long, like... You got older dude too, Sophia? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we older dudes? Man. Faith, you could put it in the miscellaneous area. Yeah, it's in, resources. Oh, sure, let's see, hold on. I'll put it in what I look like, because it kind of relates to that. There. Hopefully that works. Let me know if that works. Man, each bearded dragon is so different. Oh, thank you, Faith. Oh, neat. Well, that's cool. It actually kind of looks like it's a toilet paper holder. I love it. We could probably find something like that. That's a good idea. And your mom did that for you? That's great. Oh, thank you, Gracie. Welcome. Glad to see you again. How's your Sunday? It may look somewhat pretty, but the makeup's hiding a lot. I'm very still sick and kind of under the weather. I say, I might take a nap after the stream. Feeling a little rough. So Sniggle was telling me earlier that that guy that had the similar fan art thing that we did, he has a lot of, not necessarily rants like we do, but he talks about a lot of the stuff we do. And apparently his equivalent to our fan art rant is his tracing rant. He hates people that trace.
Oh.
So Sniggle was talking about his stuff like that, and he sounds like a pretty cool guy.
That's weird. Like, I haven't come across a lot of tracers.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, maybe he does.
Yeah.
I don't know. Our Sunday's good. Like I said, a little slow starting just because of my, sickness here, but otherwise, I think Gabe's good. He went to the gym, which I'm jealous about. And he just ate. I'm having a matcha, hopefully to, sing me up, but... Oh, he said tracers stem from Deviant.
Oh. Weird.
Bye, Brandy. Thanks for coming. Oh, that's sweet of her. Your mom was so nice, Faith. He's got some banding on here. actually might want to scan this one real quick. I'm also going to put on the other wheel. That's so weird, Sniggle. What are they tracing? I'm actually gonna guess screenshots. Like from games and stuff. That's so weird though. I didn't even know people still trace stuff. I guess that makes sense, but I don't know. It's just one of those things you don't even think about anymore when you get to a certain point. You're like, huh? Hi, Soggy. How are you? It was actually really funny. I started off the stream sneezing. Like I transferred or transitioned over the screen and immediately I sneezed twice. Other people's art, screenshots, anime. Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sophia, we have 3 special streams I need to catch up to. We wanted to wait till after we moved because we knew we'd have kind of a better situation to stream from. But the 3 streams are Cooking with Cloverkin, which will probably be me making a pie, because I've never made a pie. There's a lot of room there for error, which can be fun. And I wanted to have something that had a prep time, a bake time, and an end thing, so I could draw while the baking's happening. So that's the first one. The second one is a sculpting stream where I was going to sculpt, do some basics with some polymer clay, and then show how you can kind of appropriate that for jewelry and keychains, stuff like that. And then the third one was going to be a puppet stream, because I've never made a puppet and I've always wanted to make a puppet, and I figured why not just take a stab at it and I'll try it. So I have those 3 that are lined up. I just have to figure out when to do them. And it's going to be probably dotted within our con schedule, which is going to be a little bit tough. But I'll try to give everybody a couple stream notices beforehand, maybe like 3 streams ahead of time. And then I'll do Discord things and Instagram things, stuff like that. But yeah. So that's why I made the one at the bottom now a little bit harder to get to buy us some time to do the other ones. Because I figured, it'll be a little bit. And then Wednesday of this week, Gabe and I were just going to do a little Valentine's Day stream in case anybody was going to be here. It'll probably be on his channel. Because, are we going down Thursday? Is Amkey Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, Wednesday we'll be on Gabe's stream doing a Valentine's Day something or other. Probably a dual stream, for sure a dual stream. It's just what we're doing, I'm not sure yet. But it'll be a special holiday stream. We'll dress up silly, that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot to do. I should actually make a little list of things. It could be really fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to those special streams. The hard thing is I'm gonna have to move my computer over there, which actually might be a good time to redo my desk situation again. Oh, stock photos. No, that's awful.
So you can definitely tell then.
Jesus. I mean, these have to be younger kids, I'm guessing, because, I didn't trace after a certain point, I only actually traced in the books that were meant to be traced from. Like, the ones that's, trace and learn, and I was, maybe 7 or something, Oh no, Cass, are you on mobile? Gracie, I actually use a Cachet Earthbound sketchbook by Dale Arowney, which sadly enough is going away. So once I found that out, I went and I bulk bought a bunch of them at the only place I could find them at, which was Walmart.com. Not even Walmart, Walmart.com. So because these are the ones that I do my commissions on, so I was like, I need to have this, you know, because that's how I make money. I'm gonna have to figure out a backup. But this paper has been the best tinted paper I've ever found. It takes marker extremely well, better than those Strathmore tone tan. Those ones suck, just for marker. So it takes marker, colored pencil really well. I don't know, it's just been really good to me, and I love it. Basically, everything at my con booth is like sepia or tan, so I basically just use this, honestly. It helps my whole table have a cohesive look, so I'm happy about that, but like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out a substitute, because I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I lost my spot. This bearded dragon is so cute. He's a cutie. Oh, you're immobile. Dang it, Cass, that sucks. Are you serious, Sniggle? Tell him to stop. Well, that's why they're garbage, because they're tracing. Don't you guys trace. Don't do it. You're not going to learn anything from it. Unless you're doing it with intent, actually. Like, if you're taking note of how someone's hand probably felt when they did their line work and stuff, that'd be the only time tracing would be okay, but you can't post that. Never should you post that. You know, you're just doing it as an exercise to figure out what they were doing, and then it's of no use anymore, you know? Oh no, Faith. It is hard to prove when somebody is tracing at conventions. You can tell usually. The hard thing is to actually prove it. So you'd have to go find the source that they traced and like show the convention that they did it. But it just really sucks when, you know, other artists can usually tell when someone traced at a convention, but usually the common public can't. So they'll still buy it. But then we're all looking at this guy like, man, what are you doing? The more conventions you go to, too, the more you'll see that, and it's horrible. I don't know.
I think what's worse is when people are like buying and buying and buying from them. You see them like constantly busy and constantly making cash.
I mean, that's what I was saying. That when they're doing better than you and they trace stuff and they trace their Batman or something, and you're just sitting here like, okay, you know, look at what I'm doing and look at what that guy's doing. It's like, what? It's so frustrating. Like, if I ever do quit conventions, like, this is a serious note, if I ever quit conventions, it's only gonna be because I've gotten so frustrated with the type of people that end up showing at them that I'm just gonna lose it. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do it, or else I'm gonna blow up at somebody. My frustration levels, I wish I was more of a patient, sweet, calm, understanding person, but I am not. Like, if I see injustice or something immoral, I usually speak out about it, or if I have a problem with something, and sometimes I wish I didn't do that, but other times I'm glad I do. I don't know. I go back and forth with it, with, you know, being proud of myself for doing that, and other times being upset with myself that I do that. But it just sucks because I had a friend who's very good at ignoring things. Like, he's kind of made it his thing to be able to ignore things and to be apathetic about stuff, and he's like, you just care too much. Just stop caring. It's like, I can't do that. Like, I can't do. I literally cannot do that. If I try, I cannot. You know, like I don't know what it is. I actually can't. Even if I wanted to, 100% with all my heart, stop caring. I can't do it, and I wish I could. I don't know. Oh, really, Faith? Are they reselling them for a lot of money? Because I saw on Amazon, there was a couple of these, and they were like $100 each. I'm like, what is going on? I agree, Gracie. They are good sketchbooks that have different color pages. They're fun. Oh, thank you, Peach. Yeah, Gracie, that's what I'm saying. Like, to understand what their hand was going through when they were making the image, sure. But to sell it or even to post it online, you know, feels weird. Because you even posting it online is like, look at what I did. But it's like, you didn't do that. You know, so just do it on your own, personally, then even throw it out maybe, I don't know, so you don't think later. Like sometimes if you trace something and you have it on the side and you find it later, you're like, whoa, look what I did, blah, blah, because you forgot you traced it. So I would say do it and then lose it, so you don't accidentally someday think you did it, you know. Hi, Hicks. I didn't make these, so I don't know how to appropriately paint them. I don't have any latex paint or airbrush. I don't think they look so unrealistic that they're bad, but I could paint them to be more realistic, but I don't care enough. People can't see them usually up close enough to know that they don't look very realistic, so. But I've thought about it. It's just I don't really. So this is one of the points in the image when you can actually start darkening in lines, and I mean darkening them, because remember I was telling you guys, only draw really light for, you know, 80% of the image, the rest, the last 20, 10% even, draw heavy. Because if you guys start off drawing heavy too soon, it's going to make your life a living hell. If you draw too dark too soon, you're not going to be able to erase. There's going to be remnants of what you were doing before, and then you're going to be upset with it, you know. So make sure you're drawing light for the beginning. At least until you know the entire piece really, and you're very confident in the rest of it. Abe, do you want your cam on?
Yes.
Well, I figure since my face is kind of pale anyway, that they just kind of blend together. They don't look bad. I'm guessing you're more of a cosplay junkie or something, JJ, since you're so critical of them, but they're fine for me. I don't know. I don't have a problem with them.
I wonder maybe if in actual photography they don't turn out that great, whereas like on here on Twitch, like, you know.
I mean, they're the same color as my skin. I don't know what. Even my face doesn't have any shadows really, so I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I am a pale one. You're gonna have to switch your background, Gabe. Hello, Spongy. How are you? The lighting on yours is kind of weird too.
Oh God.
What? Yeah, I did a couple over here too.
No, I was trying to pull it out and I thought it was behind it.
Oh no, you just flipped the teal one over.
Yeah, I thought I had to flip the fucking over.
Anybody got any plans for today? Is everybody just kind of hanging out, relaxing because it's Sunday? Do you ever have college on a Sunday? I don't remember if college was on Sundays or not.
Not for me. It was only on. They had Saturday classes, but never Sunday.
Oh. I can't remember that far back for some reason. Oh, I'm glad, True. Thank you. It's okay, JJ. It's just you come into my stream and you immediately start criticizing me. So it's not the best way to, introduce yourself. Just letting you know. And that's how I received it. So that's all. Gave your camera, like your face, it's really dark. Other way. Is it better, I guess?
More?
It's still dark. No, oh no. No. Go back. Go down like 3. I think now it finally clicked. There you go. Okay. Well, he blends into this background because he's wearing black. So, this is what you get.
Oh.
Style.
Del Cruz.
Is it storming where we live? No, that's actually in the song. I'll skip the song. The song always makes people crazy. They're like, where's the storm? There's also a song on here that's got birds. So if you hear birds, just be like, ah. If you don't want to hear the birds, let me know. Oh, thank you for the follow, Gracie. It's floating head Gabe. Yeah, basically. Oh. Everyone says hi, Gabe.
Hello, everyone.
Gabe is my troll bouncer. Usually trolls don't mess with me when Gabe's in the shot. It's funny because I've gotten trolls before when he's not here, and then I'll put him in, and then the trolls will just disappear.
It's like,
Gone.
like I'm some sort of.
Your troll patrol.
Yeah, like I'm a light.
Hello, Fish. Oh man, you guys, I was so stressed yesterday because I'm reprinting Grigor using a different print service now. And I'm getting it so it's perfect bound, so it's no longer saddle stitch, which is kind of a double-edged sword because perfect bound will always make your books look a lot better and more professional. However, the way I was doing this saddle stitch, the cover actually had foil on it, like gold foil, and it looked really nice. So now I'm swapping out the gold foil for actually having it perfect bound, which looks a lot better. So I'm a little bit sad about that, a little bit not. I also have, I asked Tim, Gabe, and Tyler to give me some guest art. So I had them contribute some art to the book. So now there's a guest art section in Grigor, which is really cute, actually. I'll actually show them real quick. I think I can do that. Oh, Sniggle wants a perfect bound Grigor. Oh man. Yeah, it should look good. I'm excited about it. It's just every time I do, even if it's a book I've done a million times, if I just am putting in a book order for a bunch of books, I get really freaked out. Just because it's a lot of money, and you know, if a printer does something wrong, then you have to go through this whole process, and it's stressful, you know, even though it's kind of little stuff.
I wonder, like, Peach in the flea market. I have been to a flea market since I was like 10 years old. I love the flea market because they always had like toys you could buy for real inexpensive. And sometimes you could get like a whole bag of toys for $5. And I was just happier than molasses dripping down a tree. So, with that said, do they still have alcohol at flea markets?
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna throw up on the screen. Here was Tim's of Gregor. And then here is Gabe did one too. Here's Gabe's. And then here is Tyler's. Now Tyler, I actually had I commissioned Tyler to do it. Tim gave me his for Christmas, and then Gabe gave me his because I made him do it. And then Tyler, I actually, you know, reached out and was like, hey man, I love your work. Obviously I was your roommate. Can I please get in on this and have you do one for me? So I'm really pleased with all of them. And I think they're gonna just be a nice little addition to the book, because the book didn't have that before. But actually I should show a copy. Do you want to grab me a copy? You're not as wedged in as I am. Give me one of the ones with the foil on it. So,
These are limited edition.
yeah, they are limited edition. So, if any of you have the Gregor with the foil on it, oh, this is the beat up one, but that's okay. It had the foil on it. It is beat up because it was one of my demo books. But see how it's saddle stitched, so that means it's actually stapled. However, to remedy that, I got some heavy cardstock for the cover, and then got it with the gold on the front and the back. So the Perfect Bound one won't have that. But, I mean, if you're looking to dress up a saddle stitch book, do things like this. You know, have heavier cardstock for the cover, and then if you can do any sort of flair to it like this, that's going to help. And that means you can sell it for a little bit more too, because you put some more effort into it. But, oh, I don't know if I've shown them inside before. So this is Gregor. He's my sweet little troll. He's a good troll. He's not a bad troll. And I always think it's funny in this page, he kind of looks like Leonard Nimoy to me. But he helps all the creatures of the forest with their little problems. So he's basically a caretaker of the forest. He's a good guy. He's my good boy. He doesn't like goats though. Out of everybody, he doesn't like goats, because they eat the moss on his back. Oh yeah, Gracie, right? Like, my roommates were stupid talented. Like, they were all very, very, very talented. Wait, why were we talking about a flea market? I'm looking at the chat. What? Hey, why were you talking about a flea market?
Well, because Peach is showing at a flea market, and her boo isn't going to be there. So I'm wondering, because when I was a kid, they used to have, like, they would sell liquor at those places, and so obviously you'd have a couple dudes, like, would be trashed, you know, so.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, the people there are probably a nice little community. So if you do have, like, table neighbors, usually table neighbors are really great. Usually.
Yeah, usually.
And if, you know, like, if something weird is going on and you're not at your table, or you're at your table, like, usually, you know, like, if they're a decent human being, then be the rescue.
You would hope so. So yeah, also Peach, there is a way to kind of tell people to go away without telling them to go away, you know? Usually you can just start engaging people around them and they'll get the hint. Otherwise, if it comes to it and they just... Some people really don't get social cues like that. So, I mean, if someone's kind of harassing you at your table or talking to you too much, you can be like, so this is my place of business right now. I'm doing work. If you don't mind, you know, we could continue this conversation on the internet via email. Otherwise, I really got to get back to work. So, you know, loitering at the table kind of takes away my business. If you don't mind, move along. That sort of thing. Some people you gotta be a little bit harder on. But yeah, I don't know. It's... Oh, thank you, Spongy. Oh, I'm glad you like Gregor, Spongy. And Gregor also comes with a pen. Like an enamel pen. Wobbles, hi! It's going okay. I'm still... Oh no. My camera's lagging. Sorry. It froze like... But yeah, I was feeling better yesterday, and then now today I'm like, limbo, so... We'll see. I usually get better throughout the day. It's just the mornings usually suck. Okay, Faith, I'll look when I get a chance. So Weasel walks into a bar. The bartender looks at us and says, wow, all of yours bartending lyrics and God, Greg. That setup is so long. I feel like you could just say, a weasel walks into a bar, a bartender says, what can I get you? Pop goes the weasel. I love it though. Either way, it's good. You can always count on Greg to give you good puns. Yeah, Wobbles, right? Hi, Lychee. It's a little beardy. He's a beardy dragon. I think I'm ready to color him. He's got some little grubbers up here. You see the little grubby guys? And the little grubs. And then you got some crickets. They all gonna get eaten, but it's okay. Thanks, Wobbles. You have a good day. See you later.
Bye, 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 dude.
Bye, 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 bye.
Hi, Kitsune. Oh, thank you, Spongy. Peach, yeah, I have all my books on my Etsy here. So if you go to that link, you can see all my stuff. He's a beardy dragon. Okay, I think I might... I want to scan this one real quick. Because I like the pencils. So make sure to remember before you, you know, start coloring stuff sometimes or whatever that, you know, if you want to have an in progress, sort of, remind yourself. You have to just get in the mental state to remind yourself to either, you know, take a picture of it or to scan it, so you have that record. Otherwise, like, it just took me a long time to be able to remember. I know it's stupid, but you just gotta remember. I'll get some grass in really quick. 'Cause he is a merchant. Scan This is a commission, Sophia. Someone has a bearded dragon, so you know me and my pet commissions. He was very particular. He really did want him to be a merchant, which I'm fine with. I like it when I can actually get a different class in there, because honestly, a lot of dogs end up being guards or knights, and a lot of cats end up being queens. So when I can get a pet that actually fits one of the other classes, I'm a little bit more excited about that. Cats also end up being mages a lot, but I do get really excited about these other ones because then obviously I can use my imagination on more of it. But he luckily was very particular about it in terms of that he liked a lot of the things I already like. And usually when people are a little bit particular, it kind of sucks. Because, then it leaves less room for freedom. However, in this case, since a lot of what he wanted aligned with what I do, that ended up being a pretty sweet situation, so happy about that. But yeah. This guy's gonna pick up at Emerald City, so I wanted to get it done to make sure when we go to Emerald City at the end of February that I'll have it. And then I'm going to go back to doing other people's that I've still ordered them from a while ago. I'm about a month behind right now with my commissions. Luckily though, I'm one of those artists that I feel a lot of guilt if I'm taking too long on commissions, so my wait time is usually a month or two, where if you get a commission from someone at a con, and they're one of the types that, they take it and they do it at home like I do, usually they'll take months, sometimes even years. We know a few that take way too long on commissions. So if you guys are ever thinking about doing commissions, I also offer commissions mentorship to teach you how to do them and what to expect, how to conduct yourself, all that kind of stuff. But it's important that you're, I'd say, prompt with them, because then people won't forget you either. And I can't tell you how bad it feels when you have to tell someone, well, for the third time, hey, I'm getting to it, this, that, or the other thing. So I can't imagine the people that take a year or more. Like, that's crazy.
Whoa. Your next turn, different color?
I didn't know that, Kitsune.
That's cool.
Faith, are you still here? Can you confirm or deny?
Miltsu, what's your favorite pet of yours?
A lot of cats do end up being rogues too. Wizards, not so much. Wizards are more particular in the way I set up my RPG classes. But usually cats are queens or kings because they're so pampered and they hit stuff over because it's not to their liking and they're pompous, all that stuff. Rogues usually are on both sides, cats and dogs. Because usually a rogue is, they're going to be sneaky, thieving, all that sort of stuff. However, there are very particular things, too, that make it a rogue versus another class like a mage or something. So when they tell me about the pet, if they say a couple of the things that I've got in my head, it changes it from being a rogue to a mage or something. I've been doing this a long time, so at this point I am very, I can do these off the fly at conventions.
She does paw readings.
I do paw readings, I call them, yeah.
It's adorable.
And yeah, like Gracie says, some people just know what their pet would be. Even if you know what, or you think you know what they are too, I like to have you pass stuff by me so I can at least be like, well, if they are a jester, we could put this in the picture with them, or, allude to this story you were telling me, stuff like that, so we can at least dig a little deeper. But yeah. Oh, cool, Faith. Okay, so Kitsune is right.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Scorpion? Oh.
Oh, that's right. You had mentioned that. Scorpions.
I actually would love to do a scorpion.
Some of the weirdest classes I've done. I did one that was a nip merchant. The merchants are always fun. Like, this is really fun to me because I like drawing merchant characters at all. I've had people that have wanted a very particular era more than they've wanted a class. So like I had someone that wanted very specific Viking armor, and there was somebody that wanted a fox that was wearing Maximilian armor, which is like the full suit of armor that you guys see like in your head. If you picture a knight, like a classic knight, that's basically what they're wearing. And I mean, like, historically accurate, and I was like, okay, I can do that. But weirdest classes, I mean, there aren't many weird classes, because usually, I mean, I did a snake paladin. That was probably the most challenging one, but it also ended up being one of the best ones, I think, because I had to figure out how a snake was going to use magic, but also wield a sword, and have some sort of shield scenario. So I worked that into their armor. I had their tail holding the sword, and I actually had the magic coming off the sword. So it ended up being pretty nice. That one's on my my Instagram as well here.
How would you handle a scorpion?
Scorpion could be cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're already, like, I would think they'd be close to either a berserker or a rogue, because they've got poison and they've got stinging, but they're not exactly stealthy. I mean, they're quiet, but they're slow. Oh, I've done that before, Miltsu. You'd be surprised. Actually, Victorian era clothing on any animal right now is super in. I mean, if Target's doing it, it's in. And Target had a lot of paintings up that were just various animals in Victorian wear. Which, if you look at my Etsy, I had done a sloth in a smoking jacket, a walrus in a suit coat, and a panda in a business suit. And I had done those just for fun, right? And then I made prints of them. I was like, whatever, maybe someone will want these. They were my best sellers for a while, and I'm actually retiring them now because they overshadowed my other stuff and kind of became my fan art, where people would just see those and they wouldn't see my other stuff. And they didn't really say much to my style, like they weren't very indicative of me. So out of all my things at my booth, they really weren't me. So I took them down. I don't think that's right. It feels like you're selling out, and I don't like that feeling. Oh yeah, Peach, I totally do. If you want any of the other books too, if you just ordered the bundle, if you want like the coloring book or one of the other ones that's not in a bundle, I can give you a discount on those. Just talk to me on email or something, and I'll give you a discount on those if you want those as well. I give Twitch people massive discounts because you guys are loyal and you're always here, and I love you. I'm kind of with Miltsu on this one. I don't like sloths. I actually did the sloth picture. This is another reason why I don't like that I had them up. I did the sloth because I knew it was popular. And it was popular, and I sold a lot of them. And every time I sold one, I was like, okay. Because I don't like sloths either. I only like the two-toed. The ones that don't have the band across the eyes, the ones with the band across the eyes are freaky. I can't do it. They're so slow, and they look like they were made by Satan.
Like when he was like high and he's like, oh man.
This will be so funny, dude. Oh my god.
Imagine this one just creeping up on some like person.
They have hooks for hands, man. Who does that? The real tragedy is the platypus. Can we talk about that? Oh no, is that totally true, Kitsune? Sloths sometimes accidentally kill themselves by mistaking their arms for tree branches.
Oh god, I can totally see that.
Has anybody watched Planet Earth 2 with the sloths? Like, that story in there is hilarious and sad. It's terrible. Aw, Faith, it's okay. Don't worry about that. You don't need to keep buying stuff if you don't want to. I mean, we appreciate Patreon as well as Twitch subscriptions too, so if you want to support us, you don't always have to buy our stuff. On my Patreon as well, if you want a pet commission but you don't have the money right now, I have technically a financing option. and it's on Patreon. If you want to pay like $20 a month towards a pet commission, you can absolutely do it. I'll put a link to my Patreon in here in case, because I had a lot of people asking me like, do you do financing for these? And I had never thought of it because it's like, I guess they're kind of expensive, you know? So why not? And then after I got enough questions about it, I was like, yeah, I can do that. Right? How can they swim?
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Yeah, they
I
I mean,
don't
they
know.
show it, and you're like, whoa, you weren't moving like that before.
Yeah, they can swim faster than they can walk. Like, that's messed up. Miltu, the pet commissions start at $195. So if you want the direct listing for those, they're here. They start at $195 for one pet at a 7x10. This is a 7x10. It's about this big. I also have 9x12s, which are this big. So the 9x12 start, I think, at $230 something, and that's this much bigger. So it's a good amount bigger. And then the price goes up depending on how many pets you have in the picture. Sniggle, your dad thinks platypuses are extinct? Why would he think that?
I love your parents, Sniggle.
Yeah, your parents sound crazy.
I want to meet your parents.
I don't hate sloths, I just question their motives. I don't trust them. They look like they're harmless, but I feel like at any minute, like, they could Stretch Armstrong it and just slash your face open, or just speed up somehow. Like, if someone threw a sloth at you, I think you'd be screwed. So if somehow they speed up, we're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
If they all decide to, like, not be lazy one day.
Oh no, C2E2. Yeah, make sure you can get to C2E2, Faith. That's important. We need you to see Bucky. Your dad will argue with you about it, Sniggle? How can he argue that? You can prove it to him. Oh my god, what? This is so confusing. I don't understand. That's nutty. I'm going to scan this real quick. Do I have my scan thing up? Listen, I made a scan graphic, and by God, I'm going to use it. I just have to go find it. I think I scared that one guy away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but that was just rude. So, that's how I feel about that. You don't just go into someone's stream and start criticizing them right away. That's rude. Don't do that, you guys. That'd be like walking up to somebody on the street and being like, that hat does not go with that jacket.
Mm-mm.
It's like, excuse me, who are you?
You know this fist? You know where this goes to?
Yeah, like
Your
what?
face!
Excuse me? Okay. Like what? Why would you say this to me? I don't even know you. Like what? It's so weird. Alright, I'm gonna scan this real quick. Did you put something on my scanner right now? It feels heavier than usual. Never do that. Never set things on your scanners, you guys. Not heavy stuff, it'll ruin them. Meltsu, you said okay, maybe someday I'll buy one. I didn't know you were talking about the pet commission for a minute. I thought you were talking about sloths. I was like, Meltsu, I thought you hated sloths. Wait a minute, can you buy sloths? I don't know.
Probably
Yeah, I don't think you can buy
somewhere. Pinch your ear.
Right, Peach? Like, who does that? Yeah, paint your ears. Get fucked. No. He walked into the wrong room to criticize someone. It's like, no. Bearded dragon. His name is, oh god, how do you say this name? Gahidra? Gidra? I think it's Gidra.
Ghidra?
Ghidra? Was that a...
Godzilla monster?
It is a Godzilla one. Okay.
The Ghidra had 3 heads though.
Like Ghidrah? Ghidra?
I don't know. I don't remember how to spell it.
It's a cute name. Ghidra.
Ghidorah?
No, this one's Ghidra.
No.
Close. Oh, thanks, Gracie. I appreciate that. I just thought that was so funny. Sophia, how do you handle people like that on your streams? Like, if I was a smarter person, I just wouldn't react, you know? And I go back and forth with that. Like, do I want to be a smarter person? I don't know.
Taste my blade.
Taste my blade. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. It's tough. Because I don't like getting walked on, either. And I don't think anyone should get walked on. But it's like, do you want to actually say something about this? Or, you know, what do you do?
She's gonna walk hard. I don't know why, but Sophia, like, when you said that, like, you're like, TBH, I can't recall getting someone like that. Like, that's how I imagine you saying it, like.
What? Okay,
Like,
what?
to be honest, I can't recall getting someone like that. Like, you just, like, bust out, you're like, okay. Sorry, the espresso just kicked in.
I don't know. I know it makes me look like a douchebag when I reply to people like that, but
Oh, Papkins. Papkins,
welcome
were you on?
back.
Were you on before I was here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, major fixing. Did you forget to turn them back on? Like you forgot to turn them back down?
Oh, cute, Peach. That's adorable. Your last name's Mallard. But you're smart, right, Sophia? You don't actually react if people ruffle your feathers. Like, you're smart. I'm not. Oh, thank you, Gracie. I tried to be respectful, but when somebody else isn't respecting you, it's hard to be respectful, you know? But yeah. Break all the sinks and walk hard.
You don't want to do this. This is reefer, man.
Oh, good. Everybody give Papkins a follow.
Oh, yeah,
She's gonna
please.
start streaming soon, and she makes the cutest stuff. And I think everyone will get a kick out of that. She's talented, she's sweet, and she also does monthly ATC things. Gabe can explain more since he's more the guy for this.
So,
It's the ATC.
an ATC, better known as an all-terrain. Shit, I don't know the last word.
All-terrain vehicle?
No, because it's ATC. What is it? Artist trading card. So one of these, right? Right? She does this thing where you don't throw them, but you send her 3 ATC cards, and every month there's a different theme. You send her 3 cards, right? And she then sends you back 3 cards from different artists. So you get 1 different artist, 2 different artists, and another 3rd artist, right? And sometimes if you send her 4, she'll send you 4.
But they're all originals. They're not
Yeah.
prints. It's original art from people, and it's just a nice little thing. It's kind of like a secret Santa all year round, and you're guaranteed to get some art. So it's a nice setup. And for anybody that kind of wants to, like, make sure they're getting in their drawings a month, that's a good way to do it. Because it'll kind of force you to do that.
Damn, Sophia, your custom built computer's $3,500.
Sheesh.
That's nuts. That thing would probably, like, you got AI working on that thing to transform into, like, a robot.
Maybe she has the antifreeze cooling set up.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, like, that whole thing that Papkins does is awesome because it sort of, like, keeps you, like, working on things,
Mm-hmm.
like, every month. And there's, like, a different theme every month.
Also, Papkins, please throw in your Twitch too, so people can go follow
Oh,
you
yeah.
already.
Or I guess it's basically just Papkins. I think.
Yeah,
Papkins.
but making a link is
Oh,
easier because people.
true.
Yeah,
True that.
yeah.
Or just click on her name, I guess.
Still, the link is still easier.
Yeah.
You always want to make it the easiest way possible for people to follow you, no
Mhm.
matter where it is. So, on Instagram, the hard part about that is that Instagram doesn't allow hyperlinks, right? So the way I've gotten around that is to use Bitly. And what Bitly will do is it'll be a Bitly link, so it'll always start bit.ly/, and then if you go on their site, you input the ginormous link you have, then you can rename what the URL will be. So it'll be bit.ly/ and then for my Etsy, I've just got Cloverkin. So bit.ly/Cloverkin. And then you get taken to my Etsy, which Etsy links are always stupid long. Always. So when you're on Instagram, if you're trying to direct people to your Etsy, use the bit.ly link and it'll be easier. Also, you can track things with Bitly because Bitly has analytics built in, so you can actually see where people are clicking from, where they're clicking to, all that stuff, how often a day, all that stuff. It's really good. Work on your own stuff, Faith. At least do one for one. So if you do one thing with Steve and Bucky, do one thing of your own. Or else your doors and your monsters will be lost in all this fan art. Okay?
'Cause,
I want you to keep going. You're
Yeah.
doing real well.
Faith, why do you want to do them more? Because I see you probably got a lot of love for them.
Mm-hmm.
That one that you did, you probably got a lot of love for it, and you know why. You know the trap that you're falling into.
We just want to make sure you're doing your own stuff too. Because in time, those fan arts won't do anything for you. But the pieces you've designed for you will. Remember that. You're investing in yourself. Every piece you guys do is investing in you and your journey. So make sure it's one that you can actually use in the future. And yeah, I get that sometimes, fan art is good for feels. Gotta get out some feels. I get it. But just make sure you're not doing it all the time. I'm having too much fun with pencils today that I don't even want to start coloring. But I gotta start coloring.
Ooh. Oh man, portable scanners are like, I don't know about that. I haven't seen a good portable scanner yet.
So, yeah, Sniggle, are you talking about the ones that are like a wand that you kind of go over? Because any portable scanner is actually meant for documents.
Mhm.
It's meant more to be catered towards text, for business individuals, we'll say. So really, and this goes with the commissions mentorship, I'm usually going to tell you guys to not do them at conventions. Oh, Red, welcome. Thank you for the bits. I will highly, highly suggest if you're going to do conventions and you're going to offer commissions at conventions, do not try to fit in doing the commissions at the convention. The only people I think that can do that are people like Gabe and Hire, who can actually pump out images like no one's business. Okay? And the problem is, if you are hoping to get a lot of commissions, right, and you say you do them at the con, you're going to be busy all night. And you shouldn't be drawing at your table anyway, okay? So what you do is you offer free shipping, you bump up your price a little bit to cover that free shipping, right? And you make sure that they're like, okay, I'm not trying to give away too much with this because I have a mentorship for this. So you just let them know I will be shipping it to you in a week or so. you know, and they'll be like, cool, all right, see you later, you know, and they give you their address and everything, and that's how you do it. That's a lot better because you don't want to be drawing at your table. You don't want to be stressed out after the con with doing all this stuff. Because when I was starting these, I started doing them at conventions originally. Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how stressed I was after the con? I would get maybe 5 or 6 a night. I can't do one of these a day sometimes. And it was crazy. So depending on what you're doing though, it'll change. Like, you know, if you're just doing like a small ink piece, maybe you could finish that. Okay, but also you just want to be present at the con, and at night, if you're the type to go out and party, you're not going to have time to do that commission, you know? Sorry, what were you going to say?
It's just like your work will suffer from it, and you won't be able to send them the best thing that you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who go to conventions, they already understand that.
Yes.
You know that some people can do it there, and then there are some people that don't.
Yeah,
they're okay with it.
Very established already that can be a thing. So don't ever feel bad about that.
It's the worst thing in the world when unless when you're trying to sit there and you're drawing, and then somebody comes up and they're like, "Oh yeah, can you tell me more about this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and then you got to put it down, and then you know like 10 minutes later after you've made a sale, then you got to pick the thing back up. Bless you. And you gotta like start back over again, and it's just a constant you never get into the groove of actually being in the groove.
And you should always look approachable and ready at a convention. You know, you don't want to be sitting down. There's only the one caveat really to it, and that's anime cons where people don't like being approached. But any other convention, you want to look, you know, like you're ready. Like usually I'm standing with my arms like behind my back, kind of like in a military stance almost, I guess. Or like in front of me, being cute and like having my, you know, arms folded. In the future I'm going to be playing an instrument, so it'll be pretty cute. But you always want to look like you're ready, you know. How do you know when you're detailing so much that you're not learning, or do you ever feel like you take so much time on something and then you get that itch that you can be doing something a little more helpful to your growth? Lychee, I think it's always good to be aware of when you're overworking something. So like in this case, I wouldn't take all this spikage up through here because it would take away from his expression, his eye, all that junk, right? And especially here, like having this balance of some detail, some things that are, you know, very sparse and simple, detail, not as much. I'll probably tone it down here on the wheel a little bit more because you have to be aware of how your image is balanced with the detail you have. Because if it's detail everywhere, people won't know where to look. I guarantee that. These raspberries, in my opinion, are pushing it. But like this crate that these crickets are in, I remedy that by only having a couple things here that are hinting at it being mesh, you know, where you can see them still, but I'll probably eventually go over them a little bit more with a couple hatches, but that's it. Like if I hatched all that, you wouldn't be able to tell there's crickets in there, and then it would just look crazy, right? Your eye wouldn't even be here, right? So it's important as you're going to be cognizant of that balance, you know. So I think you're learning when you're always thinking about what you're doing, which you should always be thinking about what you're doing in a picture. I actually draw a comparison to this between doing detail and just drawing in general and filmmaking. When you're making a script and doing shots and stuff, every shot is supposed to have a purpose. There's a purpose to every single shot if you're doing it right. And I feel like that should be the same way with drawing. Every line should have a purpose. Everything you're putting down should have a reason for being there. And you should be thinking about that as you're doing it. It sounds a little bit crazier than when you're doing it, but like if I'm here, I'm like, okay, these ones are actually splayed out, right? So they have to be established. But as they come further into the skin, they're going to dissipate and disappear more, right? So then you fade them. So each one of those, you have to be thinking this one's going to fade a little less and less and less and less, right? Until you've got this degradation here, right? So that's important that you're thinking that. And I think as you're doing that, you're going to be learning. You know, I don't think you can help it. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, true. So in terms of anime cons versus comic cons, anime con demographic is usually people who are around 15 years old to like 25 years old, and they usually don't bring a lot of money. They usually have cash, and they like small consumable items. They're also usually a little bit socially awkward. So you have to kind of treat that with respect when you're at a booth and actually selling, because a lot of these people don't like people who come on strong, right? You don't want to bully them in any way. So you want to kind of let them go at their own pace, kind of browse things how they will, and then engage with them when they feel safe to. Whereas at Comic-Cons, it's a lot different. It's a lot of people who are pretty gung-ho about what they like. They know what they like. They've got a lot of money usually they're between 25 and like 50 years old, somewhere in there. So they've had jobs, they're established, they've got homes usually. Sometimes they even have kids, you know, and they're really well established with what they like, what they know, and what they're there to get. So when they see something, they're like on it, they come over to you, they talk to you straight up. So for those conventions, you want to be really with it. You want to be always just looking like you're approachable. I usually treat those cons like I'm an automaton, where it's like I'm just sitting at my booth, and when they come up, it's like they're putting a quarter in, and if they point to something, that's me going into pitch mode and like, you know, being a robot about it, but also being genuine and like talking to them about themselves and with them, right? Can't really handle that same thing at anime cons. Like, it doesn't, there's no crossover there, unfortunately. And some people don't realize you're supposed to kind of treat them differently. And then they'll say, you know, oh, I didn't do so well at this con. Well, do you not do well at anime cons in general? No, I don't seem to. Well, there's a reason for that, you know. And Gabe and I don't really do good at anime cons anyway, because a lot of our stuff is a little higher priced. And because of that, we don't sell anything because no one has money for it. They want buttons, they want pins, they want stickers, they want little things, right? Unless they're going to the vendor area, then they want the big rare things. So yeah, it can definitely change depending on the type of con you're going to. And then art fairs are a totally different thing. So yeah. Oh good, Gracie. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're welcome, Lychee. Okay, let's start coloring. So this is gonna have a lot of colors in it, but I'm gonna try to not get it crazy, because this bearded dragon itself is like 4 colors.
4?
Yeah, he's a lot of colors. Yeah, he's like yellows, greens, reds, and oranges. Luckily, he's wearing a lot of clothes though, so that can actually help me. Also, I don't know his actual color now because he's under a lot of lights. So I'm actually going to probably save his colors for later till I can actually think about them better. But right now I can do his outfit at least. That should be easy enough. You're welcome, Troop. Let's do the butternut squash. So when I do the colors, or at least start the colors for these, I always do marker flats first. So when you see me doing this, it's gonna look pretty unrendered, and that's on purpose. There's not gonna be much depth to anything. It's just gonna be basically flat. So like if some of you don't know what flats are, if you've ever seen how comics are done, it's basically there's pencils, inks, then flats, and then some artist goes in, and usually the colorist, and then they'll take the flats and then they'll render them out. So do the shading, do the highlights, do all that stuff. And in my case, I kind of something similar, but this is so desaturated. Hold on. I'm gonna fix this. Because this is not indicative of what my colors actually are right now. Yeah, that's a lot closer to what it looks like. Sorry about that. Weird texture's a bad thing, Snake. How high can it scan? Also, you should have Gabe look over one of your scans.
Almost what? Sniggle, is it? Do you like hand? Do you move it by hand? Like, do you have to like physically move it yourself? Because with that, like, you gotta be careful because it might stretch your image. It's not gonna be like a 1-for-1. I've seen ones that are you feed it through and it just scans it, you know. If it's one of those, then maybe that's I don't know.
Honestly, some phone cameras are better than document scanners.
I actually used to, when I would do commissions at like I used to do commissions with little ATCs, and I would actually take a picture of them and then I would use them to reproduce them. Because it was watercolor, or if it was marker, it'd be, you know, like simple colors, or if it was an ink drawing, it's very easy to like reproduce that. And this is like 5 years ago on like an iPhone 3GS.
This is when Gabe was doing fan art.
Yeah.
Selling fan art.
Yeah. But also, when I was reproducing these ATCs, they were like the size of an ATC. So like the resolution that I was taking a picture of them at was great. You know, it was like good enough for a reproduction at that level. But taking a picture of something that's 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17 with your phone, it's not going to translate as well. It has a feeder. Oh. I'd be very interested to see how that works.
Yeah, Sniggle, you might want to send Gabe a thing on Discord. We just want you didn't get hosed, basically. Because scanners can be a tricky thing. Well, the other thing is, you also usually don't need a high-end scanner. Like, Tim recently bought a museum quality scanner. I don't think he needed that. But, I mean, granted, you know, he's his own person, and if he wants, you know, he thinks he needs it, cool. But I also just think that you don't necessarily need that sort of thing. I feel like scanners like that are for certain things, but for us, I don't think it's exactly necessary, especially if you don't have a ton of money. You know, you don't need something crazy.
Oh yeah, Sniggle, it's like I see what you mean now. You might be able to get away with that, but there's still like some like line problems here. Like it's like line progression, so it's like tick 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 tick.
Sniggle, clean your room. The whole reason he doesn't have access to his scanner is because it's not that way. So Gracie, I think it's not gonna do my marker mentorship anymore just because I feel like I can't teach enough. But markers they have a pretty steep learning curve. You have to know how to blend with them and where to start and how much to flick and stuff like that and how much you're pressing down and all those sorts of things, which just takes a lot of practice. That's it. You just do it a lot, you'll figure out how it works, and then how to use it. It's just like anything. The pigment, also it's dependent on... Oh, I'm actually doing a bad thing here. Always make sure you have a bleed thing behind you, which I did not, because otherwise it's going to pool and it's going to look like crap. So, I was doing a no-no. But the best way to learn how to use markers is to use them. Remember, gotta just start.
It is unfortunate that it's more one of those things that you'd have to be there like in person to like.
It does suck, yeah. Unless we were on like a live call and I was teaching you how to do them, or like I guess on Twitch or something, because you really have to explain as you're doing it, sort of.
I think also then there's like having to learn color theory, which in its own is like difficult.
You know what? I don't think you do,
No,
because I don't.
you understand it though. You
No,
know
I don't
it.
think I do. Like, that's the thing. You guys all understand color. I have a basic understanding of color. I only ever use these colors. This is it for me. So, when we say color theory, I think I have one of the most basic understandings of it, and I can still make decent stuff. So, really, it's just with anything. If you're going to pick up something, you're going to have to use it a lot to get good at it, right? I didn't have anyone teach me how to do markers. I figured it out and figured out how they work and how you're supposed to kind of use them to get the desired effects you want. And it does have a lot to do with gradients. If you can master how to use a gradient, you can do markers really well. And I mean, the whole reason that I picked up markers was because I wanted somewhat of a watercolor look, but I didn't want to wait for watercolors to dry. And Gabe and I usually say, like, whether or not you use watercolor or marker, it's kind of dependent on what kind of an artist you are. So if you're patient, if you're willing to wait, you can usually use watercolor. If you're impatient and you want it now, use marker. And I mean, obviously, you're going to end up paying more for using marker, but that's fine. If that's what you want and that's how you work well, you're going to pay for it. And that's fine. You're paying for your impatience, basically. Or, in other cases, paying for convenience. Depends on how you look at it. But like Gabe is a watercolor guy. He's not so much of a marker guy. We both do watercolor and marker, but what we prefer is, more obvious to the type of people we are. Like Gabe is more watercolor, so he has more patience than I do.
Gracie has a big question.
A big question? Oh man. Oh, you mean Peach?
Sorry. Yeah. Peach.
Gabe.
Sorry. Their names are the same color.
Oh, they're not for me. Just
Fresh it.
Yeah, refresh it. I have a nice dark tablecloth over the black plastic. No plastic ever. Just because the plastic has been folded up, right? It's got all those lines from being folded up. When you unfold it, it's not going to straighten out. I don't know if you've ever used like plastic tablecloths at a party or anything, but even when they're lying on a table for like 2 days straight, they do not flatten out. And I mean, unless you figure out how to flatten them out, like, the problem's going to be anything you travel with is going to get wrinkly, so you need to figure out how to unwrinkle it when you get there. I know a lot of my friends who still use sheets. They'll bring a steamer, like a hand steamer, to actually, smooth out the wrinkles when they get there. But then even then you have to carry that to the con, and during that transition they can get wrinkly. But in terms of the plastic cloths, I don't even know. Maybe a hairdryer and pulling on it will get rid of the wrinkles, but I just would... So if you go to Walmart and you buy like a king size cloth, Gabe's got them right behind him. He's got 2 giant ones that he just switches between for me on my stream and him on his stream. These are like $12 at Walmart. And you can even get the wrinkle-free ones. And they're pretty good. As long as you have, like we have a photo backdrop for ours. Like I almost wish I could show you this. I don't think I can.
I think that's you're hitting the nail on the head there, Peach. They look cheap.
Yeah, you don't want to look cheap, okay? Like the ones behind me are vinyl, and when I unroll these, sometimes they have lines in them, but luckily these are heavy enough, and like that's heavy. you know, where it'll eventually warm up and straighten itself out. The plastic, though, won't, because it's cheap, it's light, it doesn't have enough weight or
It's almost
resilience.
like paper.
It is almost like tissue paper.
Yeah, like oh, I meant like actual paper. Like it's gonna keep that crease forever.
Well, so does tissue paper.
Oh.
But if you get like a king size sheet at like Walmart for like $12, and it's got wrinkle free stuff, you can also, if you're at a hotel or something before the con, you can put them in the shower like area with you so they get steamed. It's better. Yeah, they can be pretty cheap.
I remember somebody at some show, one of our friends, just straight up took the sheet from the room, from the
really?
bed for the table because they didn't have one.
Who did that?
I don't remember. I think it was at ECC at some point. But I mean, like it works.
Yeah, no,
You just gotta return it.
Yeah, actually, that might be really smart. I hate how smart that actually is. Well, the only problem is it's white.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
if white doesn't lend itself to you or your thing, don't use it. But yeah, I did, Sophia. Yeah. So as I've gone with conventions, you always iterate on your con setup. If you're smart, at least you're gonna figure out what looks cheap now as time goes on, what you could improve on, and all that. So I've taken the same wood grain that's on my logo, right? And I have this sign at cons too. So I have that, and that's going to be above me at a con. And then on either side of me are going to be these giant vinyl wood banners. And then I can actually just magnet up my prints to it. And I explain all that in the con mentorship too. But this is like stage 3 of when you've gotten better at cons. You can do this sort of thing, because then you figure out how you're going to bring this somewhere. Because this is a little bit more difficult to like travel with than just a sheet. However, it's more streamlined for me now because I have, we take this giant rigging setup with us. Like right now, these are actually held up by photo box rigs. They're like photographer rigs for like lighting and stuff. But we have a bag that we take these in anyway. So the vinyl banners fit in that bag. So this just makes sense for us. However, we need more space, and that's why I've put this now in the rigging, because the downside to sheets is they are bulky. It's nice though that they can add as packing though if you have like really fragile plastic stuff. Or frames, you can wrap your sheet around the frames and stuff so that it's got some cushion. But otherwise, they're still really bulky because you've got 2 king-size sheets in your luggage. You know, one for your table, one for your backdrop. So I still have my tablecloth one, but, you know, that's a trade-off. Can't really do anything about that. But you end up just leveling up your con setup over time. When you've been to enough cons, you figure out, oh, this sucks to bring on planes. You know, this sucks for transitioning from here to here. I'm not going to bring that anymore. You eventually streamline it, you know. So it's everybody's got their own journey too. Like if you're just a local con person, usually you can have a nicer setup that has a lot of things that don't have to be broken down. But if you end up going on planes, your whole setup basically needs to break down into very small, compact things. Hi, Austin. Today, this is a merchant bearded dragon. Someone has. I think he's cute. It's okay, Miltsu. Hi, Serenity.
Serenity.
Sorry again for my voice. I know it's a little. I sound like a smoker. Okay, let's do some raspberries. Radberries. Yeah, that's what I want. Also, these swatches help me go faster too because I know exactly what to expect from every color. So having these available to you are always really nice. Because you'll have a color in color head, but not every time are you going to be able to translate it well. So having a swatch sheet's really good. It's a bearded dragon. A bearded dragon is a type of lizard, not an actual dragon. Silly. Do vegetarians wear leather? Yeah, vegetarians wear leather. It's vegans who can't have anything that's an animal product.
Well, I think some vegans will still wear leather. It's just like I think like some vegans do it for the health reason.
So,
Yeah.
no, not necessarily actually.
No, that's what I'm saying. Some of them.
Well, not for health reasons. So I did have a vegan friend, and she was explaining to me, we can't have honey, we have to have agave, we can't wear leather unless it's like from Goodwill, because then at least you're still like honoring that the animal's getting use out of it, sort of thing. But you didn't buy it. They didn't want to give money to the people who are actually destroying the animals to get the leather. So they're not exactly supporting that, but at least then they're still making use of the animal, so to speak, if they get it secondhand and it's not being wasted. That's at least what she had said. What health reasons, Gabe?
Oh, like if somebody just doesn't want to eat meat for health reasons. Like that's what I used to do.
Oh, no. She's talking about leather. What are you talking
No,
about?
I know, but I'm saying like if I was a vegan,
Yeah.
I would still eat, or I would still get leather products.
You're
I
not,
wouldn't, but
Well,
like-
you're not supposed to, though. Then you're not vegan.
mm,
Because vegans won't use anything that has an animal product. They won't even use honey because bees have constructed honey.
I see.
Because they don't want to support the companies that have put those bees at risk.
So that's like the true vegan.
No, that's vegan. That's just the idea. Like, research vegan. That's the idea behind vegan. You're not supporting anybody who's putting animals at risk
I
by,
see. Do
like,
not,
yeah,
do not eat or use animal products.
yeah. I guess Gabe learned something today. Yeah, 'cause Deborah was telling me all about that stuff.
That's really cute, Sophia.
No, Peach, I think $10 is okay. If they're black and white. If they're color, you can go up to 15. So, Gabe and I do 1 for 15, 3 for 30. So it's basically buy 2, get 1 free if you get the 3 for 30. Which people seem to usually do that. You also want to think about, I also wrote in the doc for you, that you want to think about what you can bundle. And that's part of bundling. It's also upselling, which can really help your table and help things out a bit. I'm trying to make this look more like this is on my paper. Well, I wouldn't say some vegans can be crazy. Anybody can be crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's not throw stones here. Anyone can be crazy, it just depends on how into it they are. Okay? Extremists exist everywhere. Okay? You can have nice vegans, you can have, vegans that don't boast that they're vegans, stuff like that. It's same as religion. You're gonna have some people who are okay, some people that are crazy. Same with politics. So I wouldn't, saying stuff like that is what's
That's what's detrimental to everything.
that's what's gonna fuck things up.
Yeah.
Is saying, oh, all these people are this way.
Yeah.
No, don't say that. Because really, that's not true. And that's just gonna hurt the situation. Not to be a jerk. And today's like today, I'm like, should I stream? I'm a little too revved up and outspoken today. Someone might get some, entertainment out of it. Sure, I'll go. I just fear that my stream ends up being me yelling at people, which I don't like. I don't want to be that guy. Yeah, there will always always be crazy people.
It is true though. I mean, there are people who go to the extent of like not eating certain, you know, like they won't even use like they won't eat specific fruits or vegetables because they don't want to harm like insects and things like that. I mean, like that I can respect that because that's like,
That's
you know,
next level.
yeah, like you are actively trying to protect life
Yeah.
to any degree, which is fine because I mean you don't need to have an apple from the grocery store. Like you can go and find apples that haven't been fucked with. Oh no, Faith, Mom got back on IG. What does that
cute.
mean? Are you in trouble?
Yeah, what does that mean? Is that a bad thing or a good thing, Faith?
Does your mom party?
Do you have a party mom?
Yeah, is she gonna be doing Insta stories of her at the club? Soggy, I would have expected that.
Ouch, Soggy. Hopefully it was warm.
Hopefully it was a pie. Hey, Merle. Hello,
Oh,
Merle.
that's crazy long. I didn't know that. I mean, that's just like anybody, though, who's going a little bit further to do something for their religion or their
Mhm.
politics or whatever, It's going that extra mile because they think it's right. And as long as they're not putting anyone out of their way or hurting anybody, who cares? Let them do whatever. Hi, Merle.
What is it? What do you mean by broken record? Like, is she like just skipping?
Oh, no. It's always on the weekends, I think, because everyone's home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Soggy.
Oh, you silly. Why you gotta be gross, Wilson? Why you gotta be that guy? Oh, there we go, that's fine. Soggy's our resident troll here at Cloverton. He is unpaid, however, he is very, useful? Oh no! My video froze! Ugh. Hold on, guys.
Brown.
Can you still hear me even when my video freezes? There you go. I also think it likes to... Hold on. Fixing. That's so weird. We're getting used to the internet here and what it likes to do and what it doesn't like to do. Hello, Yushin.
You should.
$20 a stream. Oh god. We don't have that kind of money. Hello, Bonnie. Juicy produce. Ooh. Okay, good. 95. Are you gonna go after the stream then?
Yeah, I guess.
Probably get some stuff for dinner if you want something specific.
Mhm. Man, that was weird.
Hmm.
You were squeaking, and I
Mhm.
thought my paints was squeaking, and I was like, "What the hell? I've never heard that word."
Mhm.
Whoa. Whew. Mouse in your pocket. What?
I don't know. I love lazy. The squeaking.
Oh.
I wish.
Please. Welcome to the club, Saphira.
Oh, okay. It's Sunday. You're allowed to
Yeah.
feel lazy.
Have
Don't
it.
worry about it. Get your relaxing on. Only Gabe and I and other people are supposed to work on the weekends. You be lazy. You probably earn it. You can be lazy as long as you earn it. If you haven't earned it, get to work.
What's your Saturday? Oh no. Faith's mom is gonna follow us.
Oh, that's fine. We don't do anything bad. Whose video froze? Oh, Gabe's video.
It didn't freeze, I'm just not moving.
You just look like you're making this. I don't even face. There. Are you picking your nose?
No.
I don't know why this keeps freezing so much. Soggy would have mostly been pick up on the cheese. Aw, Soggy's a cheese thief. How do you make your words colored? You do slash, me, and then space, and then you say whatever you want to say. Aw, cute. Hi, face, mom. Hi to your fruit. Am I gonna seem like a douche if I email you about typo? No! In fact, I'll bet you anything that's in Gabe's area. So yeah. Email us about typos, that's fine. Gabe did all the travel stuff. I did the rest of it, so I guess it could have been me. I tried to proofread it a few times.
Mannequin challenge, yeah.
Oh man, that died off really quick, huh? I'm just happy you're reading it, Peach. That's good. Gotta read it. Because it's just gonna make talking about everything else a lot easier once you've read through. You doing more tiny paintings?
Oh, that's great, Gracie. Thank you for spreading the word, spreading the gospel.
Oh, thank you, Gracie. That is wonderful. Yeah, word of mouth goes a long way, you guys. Never underestimate that. Definitely helps. I usually tell my people that get commissions from me at conventions and stuff, once I've sent them their commission, I say, if you're satisfied, spread the word. Because the Etsy people can actually write you a review, and they can tell people how you did and stuff. But unfortunately, the convention ones don't have any sort of thing like that. So all the Etsy ones I've gotten are just the reviews from Etsy purchases. All the other ones I've gotten, which I've got at least 100 others, sadly I don't get reviews with those.
Bonnie, that sounds awful. I feel like I know that environment. It's like the office manager's like, all right, do something fun for a change. Like,
Who knows about the mannequin
God.
challenge? But it could be cute.
David, no.
Oh, cute, Peach. That's adorable.
Oh, cute. Wait, Peach, are they like...
Right, Sophia?
Peach,
You have to get used to that.
Peach, are they like in packages, or are you just gonna have like an open bowl of sunflower seeds?
Hopefully she's got them in envelopes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she'll have them in envelopes.
Because, man, I remember going to a convention. I think you might have been at this one where they had a bowl of marshmallows, I think.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so that's never a good idea to actually give away food for a lot of reasons. If people do take it from you, usually it's because they feel rude if they don't, and they're just going to go throw it away and waste the money anyway. Or if they do eat it, okay, but really you should never take any food from anyone at a convention. Seeds, obviously different. That's fine. But yeah, the other stuff can get really scary. So Sophia, I always relate markers and watercolor together because of that reason. When you put down watercolor, it always looks darker than when it dries too. So that's why when you see Gabe doing it, I have the same reaction you do to me, where it's like, oh my god, that's so dark, blah, blah, blah. But when it dries, it's obviously a lot lighter. So that's just working with the medium and learning it, that you know what it's going to look like when it's dry, so you know how to apply it when it's wet, if that makes sense.
And how not to freak out.
And how not to freak out.
Because even I still freak out sometimes. I'm like, oh god.
Shit.
Oh no.
It's too dark. I was like, no, just give it a minute.
And then sometimes you apply it and it doesn't stay dark, and you're like, God damn it. Don't get poisoned.
Ooh, Miltsu. This is a good topic. So, how to express emotion when you're just drawing an object. That can be conveyed through lighting, mood, color. There are so many other things that you can add to that scene to actually make it a certain emotion or mood. Like you could put, let's say you're doing it through surrounding elements, right? If you put flowers around a cube, it's going to make this cube happier. If you put knives around this cube, it's going to freak the cube out, right? It's going to give a whole different tone. Or if you do it with grays and some red, that's going to be a whole different feeling than yellows and greens and pinks, So the way it's lit as well can do that. Like under lighting is scary, above lighting is usually just like it can be happy. But usually well-lit things are going to look happy, so like a 3-point lighting system, as opposed to like a spotlight. A spotlight could also be dramatic, or if it's just like one spot looking down like this, and it could look sad. It's all in how you use it. But yeah, you can do a lot with just those things. Yeah, so there you go. Kitsune's right. Same thing. You can do it through anything. Don't underestimate surrounding elements, colors, lighting, like how the lights are being used, because that's going to actually, pump up how it is received. But if you're not good at color, Miltsu, shouldn't you use more color and get better at it?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Try a couple little versions of it. Remember we talked about this? Like a 2x3, something very small, and try that out and see how it goes. Little proofs of concept and see what you like, and then do that bigger. you'd think it's a waste of time, but it's really not.
Artist trading cards.
Oh, what time is that? It's 2:30. Really quickly, I'm gonna post. Or wait, is it Sunday? I'm not gonna post anything.
Oh, you were trying to do Sunday or 2 p.m. post?
Yeah.
Shh, quiet.
That's okay, Meltsu. So this is what I was talking about the other day. If, you know, you can have flat-looking things. It's okay.
Mhm.
If you just do inks and then do flats and you leave it, and it looks good because you did a lot of ink work, that's okay. Now, Meltsu, if you don't like it because it's not rendered enough, work on that. But if you like the look of the flats, or, you know, if you're feeling pressured to render it, but you really don't want to, you don't have to.
Mhm.
It took Gabe and I way too long to realize that we don't have to render things if we don't want to. Or we don't have to make something look a certain way. We can do whatever we want, and so can you. You just gotta work with the medium. Like, if it's not coming out the way you want, you have to do it more. That's the only way it's gonna get better. You don't do it less. Well, yeah, if you don't like flat, then Meltsu, you're gonna have to do you know, a lot more practice with it to figure it out. And that's the thing with watercolors too. So if you're gonna render it and you're gonna have a lot of layers, you're gonna have to practice a lot, and you're gonna have to be patient a lot,
Mhm.
because watercolors require patience, or else they get really muddy. Because as Gabe was saying in a few of his streams, like for watercolor, you only want to use like what 1-2 color max in certain areas,
Yeah.
right? Or else it's gonna get muddy. And I was a repeat offender of this. Like,
I think either way though, Miltsu, I think the biggest problem I think you're facing is not that things are flat or that things are not, you know, like not like
rendered?
yeah, like it. I think your biggest problem is that you have to be patient and you have to
Practice?
you gotta practice, and in order to get to what you want, you have to keep practicing.
Yeah, you gotta put in the work. I'm listening.
Yes. I mean, like you know everything we're telling you.
So Miltu, that's what we're saying. It starts to look really bad after a certain point. A, that means you don't know how to use it. And B, you're probably not waiting till it's fully dry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So the muddiness, you're not supposed to use a lot of colors. Okay? And B, you have to actually wait till it's dry. You know? Like very dry.
So
Thanks, guys.
there are some artists that will put like 40 layers on a piece. You know, they'll put like 40 layers of color on one piece, but that's because they wait until it's completely dry. Like you have to wait. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You have to.
Have to wait. And if you're not a patient person, then go start another piece and wait for that one to dry.
Yeah, because usually don't watercolor color have like 3 or 4 things they're
Yep.
working on at once.
That's why I'm working on like 2 different things at the same time.
Yeah, like on his stream like
Yeah.
yesterday, he was doing like 3 paintings at a time. You can use the dryer, but only in some cases.
Yeah.
I wait a lot that it would dry completely. What did you say, Miltu? I mean, you just have to learn how to use it right, too, like, color-wise. Because my problem was I was using too many colors, and I wasn't waiting until it dried. And it would always look muddy. It was always really blended together, you know? It just looked like crap. So the only way around that, to get them to look like Gabe's do, or just, you know, a good watercolor in general, is to wait and then to use like the least amount of colors. You just have to make sure you're using the right colors. And
Nope.
that's what's so hard.
Miltzu, do you have any examples? That maybe like if I take a look at it, maybe I can tell you, how to like improve the things.
That's why Gabe has watercolor mentorships
Yeah.
too, to teach you guys quicker, so you don't have to like trial and error yourself.
Serenity, 100%. Yeah, more layers doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be better.
In fact,
Yeah.
usually things that are simpler are more pleasing to the eye, if you think about it. So
Like I'm gonna like
less is more.
most really nice watercolor pieces have one layer. Like if you look at all the really beautiful like watercolor like landscapes that people do, they just pass over one color and that's it. And they've done that because what they've done is they've got 2-3 colors on their mixing tray, and they pick all of them up with one brush stroke, and then they apply it to the canvas, and then it's done. Leave it. That building done. Not touching it ever again.
They know lighting usually.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
That's another thing, is you have to plan, you have to know your color, you have to know color theory.
So Miltu, maybe starting with watercolor actually wouldn't be good for you right now. Start with acrylic or something that's an easier medium, because honestly, watercolor is the hardest medium.
It is.
It is.
But Miltu, just like dump out like anything you've got. Like don't even look for good examples. I want to see all the examples, because you showing me good examples is not going to help you. I need to see a variety of examples so that I can pinpoint.
Bye, Austin.
Bye, Austin. So I can pinpoint what it is that like you might have a recurring theme in all of your pieces that I can point out and be like, okay, this is a problem. Claire wants to know what kind of markers you use.
Claire?
Or Gracie, sorry.
Oh. Marker doesn't usually cover pencils. Unless it's those crappy Winsor Newton ones. Because those are closer to paint. These are Prismacolors. And I usually get a lot of flack for using Prismacolors because everybody's like, oh, Copics are where it's at. Copics, blah, blah, blah. But really, Copics are the only ones that are worldwide sold. So a lot of people use them because that's all they have overseas. Prismacolor is a US company. And so when we went overseas and I was like, do you guys have any Prismacolors? Because I was out of a couple, they were like, Prismacolors, you're not going to find any of those in Europe. And I was like, okay. Also, my video froze in a very funny way. Let me see if I can bring it back.
Basically, the biggest thing is I think with Copics is that the anime community has, or manga community uses it. Like a lot of Japanese people use
yeah,
Copics.
so they are more televised, we'll say,
Yeah.
as being the marker. When it's really not true, they're just another type of marker, I buy Prismacolors because honestly, for what I do, I don't need something crazy like Copics. Like Copics, I feel like if you're doing a lot of marker work and a lot of blending between colors, yeah, you can use those. But for me, it's overkill. I don't need that much, and plus they're a lot more expensive than Prismacolors. Prismacolors really are not as expensive by what?
Pepkins actually does not refill them. She just buys more.
Well, usually because the pigment's gone.
Yeah.
If the pigment isn't gone and somehow I run out of alcohol, I will refill them. I have the means to refill them. The problem is I usually run out of pigment before I run out of alcohol.
That's what she's referring to. Because
Yeah.
with the Copics, you can buy pigment to refill them with.
Yeah, and that's fine. I don't like how they feel either, though.
The Copics.
Yeah, Copics, I don't like that they're kind of square and ovular in some ways. Like, I like that this is a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, these are good for what I do. This is a very PC Mac argument that I've always found with people. Like, I get judged a lot for using these. But like I said, to each their own, and if it works for you, who cares? Who cares? If you like using ketchup to paint with, and who cares? Don't let anybody tell you to do anything different. I've used Copics and I've decided I don't like them for what I do.
Damn it. Next time, Papkins, I think the next time that I go to Blick, I need to get a refill for one of my Copic wide markers. Because nobody else makes Copic or nobody else makes wide markers.
That is true. Those are the only
Yeah.
Copics I own are the wides.
But I'm gonna get a refill for this. I have one that needs a refill on it. But I'm gonna try to get like a refill that hopefully matches a gray that Ashley uses. Because in that case, then if we can get refills from Copic and use their pigment to refill, like we'll be saving like probably like twice as much money if we
I
can.
don't know about any of that.
But that's
Gabe
why I'm
hasn't
gonna.
done any of that math.
No, I'm gonna do a. I'm gonna try it out.
I mean, I bet they've done it so you can't do that on purpose.
Maybe yeah.
I mean, why would they allow that, you know?
Oh, you're gonna get some markers next, Gracie? Oh,
I don't
Sophia.
like acrylic either, Miltu. I would try gouache before you try oils too. Like, oils and watercolor are the hardest ones. Acrylic and gouache. Gouache, you're gonna at least get that watercolor look you're looking for, but there's some going back. Like, if you screw up, you can go back with gouache, and you can fix it, where watercolor you can't, but you can still get the watercolor look with gouache. So I would highly recommend, Miltu, that you actually try gouache. Not oils, not acrylic, not watercolor, gouache. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a lot easier for you to learn it.
Oh, thank you for the clip, Sophia. It did just stop when I was like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks when it freezes. Oh no. Okay, Miltu, then keep going with gouache, because that's going to be a better first step than going straight to watercolor. Peach had a question for you. Faith, if you do go to Chicago and you want to check out an art store, look up Mitsuwa. They have some cute art stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, all the other art stores are basically going to be Blicks and stuff.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not
they-
going to find anything extra special.
No. I mean, they've got a Blick downtown, but yeah, Mitsuo will be the only thing that's like off. It's like it's a Japanese mall.
I mean, it's where I got this really tiny awesome
Yeah.
brush. Like, it's super tiny.
It's a Japanese mall, and they've got inside the Japanese mall they've got a bookstore, and it's called Kinokuniya.
Mm-hmm.
And in the bookstore, they have books, obviously, but then they have a big section of like stationery, pens, markers, fountain pens, high-end fountain pens, paper, cute staplers, cute hole punchers.
I think the
It's
last
ridiculous.
time we were there, too, they had a little Captain plushie.
Oh yeah.
So they've got some cute stuff in there. Lots of
Yeah.
chibi things.
Toys, like vinyl toys. Yeah.
It's just a cool store.
Yeah. Peach. Yeah, I don't know what I could teach you in terms of watercolor, I guess. I think you can. You probably. It seems like from what I've seen, like the watercolor that you do, over time will just get better. I think it's just like your actual the how would you say, like the
Hi, Capitan.
your drawing skills. As soon as you start to level those up even further, then I think coupled up with what you have watercolor knowledge now, they'll go hand in hand. And as you're drawing like better figures, and you know, like you start drawing characters of your own, whatever, things like that.
I think Gabe could still help, though.
Yeah.
Like, he could give you basics, and then, so his whole mentorship with the watercolor is basically, he'll give you basics, send you off on your own, you do a couple pieces, hit him back with what you've done, and he'll tell you what to fix and what your, like, massive, shortcomings are. So, like, when I've had him review my watercolors, he's told me, well, you're muddy with this, you're doing too much water, you need to start doing this more. So, that's how you kind of start learning through the mentorship. Alright, Faith, make a salad. I mean, Peach, honestly, the sketching drawing mentorship idea, you really just sketch and draw everything.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, but really that's the cheapest, easiest thing we can tell you, because really, I mean, art class can only take you so far, and I mean, whether it's mentorship or not, the only thing that really expedites a process is having someone tell you what you're doing wrong. And that's really what mentorships are. It's a really fast-paced, okay, you do the work, you show me, I'll tell you what you're doing wrong, shoot it back at you, you do some new stuff, revise it, and then you grow exponentially in that time because you're being pushed, you're being told what's wrong, and you just flush it out, basically. Where classes, since you don't have that one-on-one, you never really know what you're doing wrong unless you're really good at being self-critical and, you know, assessing, well, they're doing this, I'm doing this, so I must be doing this wrong. Like, there's that level of thinking, whereas in a mentorship, you're being told what you're doing wrong, so you don't even have to think about it, really. We teach you how to think about it, but it's one of those things where when it comes to drawing and sketching, you just have to do it.
I think at the level that you're at, I think you should probably try checking out some like, try getting some more like figure drawing classes, just so you can start getting the
Basics?
Yeah, like the basics of like of human, you know, anatomy down, and if you can start sort of like getting better at drawing what you see, then at a certain point, you know, like, I guess I would say that my mentorship is more for intermediate to advanced people, just because like what I'm teaching, like I tried to teach like my brother who wasn't that great at art, and I found out, and there was somebody else who I was trying to teach that wasn't, you know, it was all right, and I realized that I'm not the best at teaching people how to go from basics to intermediate. Like, I can't teach that part. But if you already have, like, you know, working knowledge of anatomy and color theory and things like that, then I can help you push up to, like, you know, the level around where I am. Because, you know, I don't know what it is, but it's easier for me to do that. But honestly, like, Peach, I would, like, highly recommend finding some sort of life drawing workshop, or like a class at like a community college, because that will help you like dramatically. Because typically they like, not a lot of people show up to those, you know. Usually it's not.
Or just go draw people over and over again at a coffee shop.
Or that for free.
Yeah, if you don't want to get in a class or, you know, be exposed to more people. I get it. I'd probably not want to do that either, honestly. But yeah, there's always free options for things, most definitely.
Bunny wants to know about the critiques thing at the bottom for that special streamo.
Sure. So if anybody ends up donating $10 or $20, I write your name down for the critique stream we'll eventually have. And you will get either a verbal critique if it's at the $10 level. If it's at the $20 level, we'll do a paint over. And depending on the piece and what you've used and stuff, we'll decide who out of the two of us is better equipped to handle it. And you'll either get me or Gabe to review it and give you feedback on it and, you know, do a paint over if it needs it. So I'm really starting to think more recently about how we can help you guys during these streams. Not necessarily being like teachers, but just being just more interactive about it, and this stream at the bottom is also, I'm treating it like a buffer, because we have 3 special streams we have to like catch up with. So I know this is gonna be one that's gonna take a little longer to get to, rather. So I expect it'll be a longer donation thing to get to, but anybody can still donate whatever amount you want or what have you, but at the same time, if you do want a critique as well as a donation, we can do that. And we'll write you down, and we'll give you a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of notice ahead of time when that stream will be, so you could make it. And then if you can't make that stream, we'll hold on to it till, you can. So we want you to get your money's worth. Yes, Kino Kanuya.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, get a Pinterest account, Peach. Absolutely, Kitsune is 100% right. Pinterest has saved me in so many scenarios. Well, thank you for the follow, Merle. I mean, cartoonish is fine, Peach. Never feel like you're less of an artist because you enjoy more cartoony things. Just own it and try to make it the best it can be. Meltzer said, Gabe, there's some of my watercolor. Wanted to chat.
Meltzer, these, like, there's nothing, like, screaming wrong about them. You know, like, they're just, I mean, like, they look fine. What kind of watercolors are you using, though? And are you using it on watercolor paper?
Yeah, what kind of paper and what brand of watercolors?
But I honestly like it. Like
she
if
doesn't
you just
like flats, though. Remember, she wants it more rendered, so maybe she doesn't have enough layers.
yeah, I think if I think the rendering part might come to you over time as you figure out how to create depth. Like you, I guess that you sort of have to learn how to render things out. So like, let's say in like that rose piece, that was a very flat piece. There was a little bit of depth in the petals, but I think the biggest thing is you have to learn
Shading?
shading. Yeah, you got to learn depth. So I mean, like that leaf, for instance, like there's not going to be any depth in that because the leaves are flat. You know.
Sometimes, not really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if you get hyper realistic, you can have some shadow in there, but.
Yeah, are you looking for realism, Miltsu?
Yeah.
That's another important thing too. Do you want realism or do you want like stylized realism? Because hyper realism is something else. You know, if you're trying to get to that, that's gonna be an uphill battle. But you could probably do stylized realism. That's basically what Tim does. Yeah, I basically have a Pinterest board for every type of art I do, especially these things. Pinterest is invaluable. Because the best part about Pinterest is somebody has technically gone through Google, found all the best concept art for you, and all you have to do is search for it on Pinterest. Because the problem with Google is if you type in like medieval concept art, you're going to get so much crap and some things that are even unrelated. Because like somebody's tagged it wrong or tagged it so that it comes up when other people are searching for something else. Whereas Pinterest, human eyes have seen it and cultivated a board, you know, and decided this fits in here by how it looks. And that's what you're looking for. So that's really why Pinterest is great. She said Winsor Newton, Cotman, Canson.
Yeah, Bill too. I think it's just a matter of time.
Keep going.
Yeah, you just gotta keep going. Honestly, you gotta start doing more studies on actual like depth.
Miltu, have you ever done the still lives with like spheres, cubes, and stuff with the lighting on them, and like trying to actually like these things where you take a cube, you know, this sort of stuff, and you're looking at it with certain lighting on it, and if the light's coming from over here, you know, this is shaded a lot darker than this, and all that. This is the lightest side, and then this has some medium lighting, and then there's a shadow. Have you done those sort of things? Because really drawing from life and doing lighting stuff will really help you to understand how things pop, you know?
Doesn't CG Cookie have like that's like the first lesson
Go
that's
look.
just free?
I'm sure you could find
Yeah.
it. I'm sure actually someone has a Pinterest board of all of CG Cookie's stuff. So if you guys go on Pinterest right now and look up CG Cookie, I'm pretty sure even Tim might have done it for himself, to actually find all CG Cookie's tutorials. And I'm sure Tim has one in there of like rendering. Because he is a renderholic. He loves rendering. So he'd be the best person to look at for this sort of thing. Out of the people we know.
Okay, so you've done those, but only with pencil. Well, I guess now
Try it with watercolor.
now try with watercolor.
Because it's not going to be the same. And that's the blessing and the curse of traditional. Some things are going to carry over to other things. Like you'll know how, you know, a shadow looks from one thing to the next, but depending on the medium you're using, it's going to change how you treat it. Like I would not be shading the same way right now with a pencil that I am with the marker. Like markers are completely different. You have to do them, it's really different than a pencil.
I mean, you might even have to like just go online and just find some what are they called?
Just watercolors, some
Yeah,
still lives.
Yeah. You might have to search around for some people working on watercolors or watercolor tutorials on YouTube, just so you could see the process of how they do things.
Are you getting sick?
Huh?
Are you getting sick?
No.
You sound sick.
No.
If Gabe can walk away without getting my cold, I'll be very impressed. What does this color look like? It's 209.
I'll let you ask if you ever experiment with highlight colors on your tan paper, like complementary to the tan, such as light bluish, greenish jelly roll.
Yeah, I usually use those for magic. So the jelly rolls are really good for doing magic because you can blur them and they are very, very saturated and they pop really nice. So usually, like if I've got a water mage or a fire mage, I'll have, you know, those yellows, those jelly rolls that just bam. And honestly, the pastels work really well in conjunction with the jelly rolls because then they can even more if they don't fade enough. But yeah, they're pretty nice. The problem just with any sort of, you know, tinted paper of any kind is finding out what everything's gonna look like on it before you do it. And that's why I'd say make a swatch sheet. Even if you're just using gray paper, you know, anything like that where you can almost guess what it would be, definitely still try it. Because it could be definitely not the outcome you think. Example, let's see, pick one of these colors. This light tan. So this color is the same color as this color. These are the same color. And because of my tan paper, it looks different. Same with, it's really funny because the bright ones usually look crazy too. So this color, and they're gonna look different when they dry real quick, but they look a lot different. And you want to be able to actually, what's the word, anticipate or predict what it's gonna look like. Otherwise you can't really properly, you know, color.
How long do you think you're gonna be streaming for?
Why?
Sophia wanted to know.
Oh, I don't know. We don't really have a designated time to stop. However, lately it seems like we only go for about 3 or 4 hours now. So, I mean, I'm guessing they'll go for maybe another hour. I at least want to get the flats done on him. So, yeah, I'd say that. And Sophia, I have an uptime now. I don't know if it was you or Nano Jade that was wondering about that, but I have that now. So you type in the uptime. 3 hours, 5 minutes, 17 seconds. What are Target's hours today? I'm guessing until 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used that YouTube tutorial you sent me. That was a good tutorial. I felt really dumb afterwards because I could have figured that out. But it was one of those things where it's like I wasn't familiar enough with their version of coding, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, that was helpful. Do your hands shake when you draw a color? Yeah, they can. Since I've cut down on caffeine though, it's gotten a lot better. But if they are shaking and I'm inking, I try to do the parts of the piece that are supposed to be kind of shaky first, until my hand's used to the inking or I've warmed up a bit, and then I can smooth it out. Or if you're having a really bad shaky day, you might want to just wait on the piece, for the smooth parts to do it until they're calmed down. But sometimes I try to use it to my advantage. But in terms of color, I think it's, at least for what I do, it's okay if my hands are shaky. Like, I don't need to be really stable with it. But yeah, sometimes you can get some really neat effects though from having shaky hands. Some people, they pride their art off it being kind of shaky and messy, and so I mean, maybe for a while until you know kind of what you want your style to look like, maybe just experiment with it. Maybe it'll look cool. Maybe you can do a really neat style with it or something. You never know.
I don't know if you mentioned the doing swift motions.
Oh, as a warm up?
Yeah, well, it's like if you are a shaky-handed person, like in art when you're drawing something out, typically unless you're inking, you don't want to be going really slowly.
Yeah, never really go slow.
And even when you are inking, if you're confident enough, you can just take things and just and I think that is a very
the problem with that though is it takes a long time to hone that.
Yeah.
So the more, if you want to get good at that, you're gonna want to, in your spare time and everything, as much as you can, just practice your line work and being confident and trying to make certain, I suck at making those kind of curves apparently, but you'll want to get used to making curves and things, and testing your hand and its abilities and where you have problems, so, and this is probably where you want to use more of your arm when you're doing more curves like this, stuff like that. But yeah, that's gonna fight the actual shaky part of things.
What is travel portion?
Oh, the travel portion of the mentorship.
Oh.
Peach is looking at the mentorship doc right now for the conventions.
Oh.
Yeah, Gabe made it really easy. So what I told him when he was writing that part is to treat it like he was talking to me again. Because when I started cons 2 years ago, I was 30. And I had never been out of my state before. I had never been on a train. I had never been on a plane. I had never rented a car. I was fresh bab, you know, right out of everything. And Gabe showed me all these things. So in that doc, I told him to write to you as if he was writing to me when I started that. So he put it in the simplest terms, starting from square one. If you don't even know what a term means, stuff like that. He was very good about it. Impeccable. Not really lychee, but I appreciate it. Yeah, you might want to look into why you might have shaky hands, Gracie. Like, if it is caffeine related, you might need to cut back. If it's anxiety, that could be a deeper issue. Maybe you're tired. I don't have shaky hands as much anymore because I cut down on caffeine, but I do have sweaty hands. So I have gloves to prevent that. Because like on pieces like this, I usually am wearing a glove. Either a glove like this or a glove with these fingers cut off. So it's just because it gets too warm with this one. I don't know where my other glove is. Actually, I do. Can you grab it? It's in the game room on my little desk. Because, yeah. Truly swoopy. Thank you, Lychee. I gotta figure out what color these crickets are. Bless. Yeah, so because my hand gets sweaty, usually around here, because I'm human. We're human. You just gotta learn to deal with what kind of human you are.
We have a game room. That's our living room.
It's technically our living room because our real living room to most people studio, because it's the biggest room. It's a room we spend the most time in. So we're living very counterculture at this point. And then the next biggest room is our game room / movie room / whatever, what you would call a living room. So that's where all our games are, our movies, all that stuff. And then our bedroom is the smallest room because you spend the least amount of time in there. Why would you make it elaborate? We're very streamlined. We have 3 rooms. We have the big room here, and then we have a smaller room and another smallest room. It's technically a 2-bedroom apartment. But it's nice. It's like how 800 square feet?
Yeah, about
800?
Yeah, it was like 780 something. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean
Yeah.
it's still way more than we had. And Gabe and I really don't need a heck of a lot. Like for a while we were even considering getting a tiny home. Because we're those guys, but I don't know. We're not equipped for that yet.
What is TFW?
Thanks for...
Waiting?
No, I remember this. What is it? It's, Oh, that feel one. Yeah. You have a great idea for drawing, but it would be on... You don't know Marcus Paints or... Oh, bummer, Kitsune.
Go to Walmart.
That's how Gabe thinks. He thinks in color, too. So he can, what's the word?
Draw it out anyways in pen and then just label the colors. I've done that before.
Just so
that
you
I
don't
remember.
forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That feeling. Sorry, Lychee and Bunny, I've let you down with my internet knowledge.
Oh, anxiety. Yeah, Gracie, I get it. I think like a lot of younger artists or inexperienced artists will have the shakiness because they do get nervous about messing something up. But,
Yeah. I mean, that just comes with time, though.
Yeah.
Just the confidence thing. Unless you have, like, true anxiety,
mhm.
you know, that you can't help that and it comes on because of reasons and stuff. We're not sure if you mean, like, just nervousness or, like, anxiety. But, I mean, you know, that's totally your gig. If you, I don't know if taking, like, the anxiety meds people take, if those help with that or not. I have no idea. I wish I knew more about that, but yeah, I guess it's just figuring out what can work for you and how to deal with what you've got, I guess. But yeah, using it to, you know, your advantage when you can is, ideal. So like if you've got a, part of a piece that has a lot of hay in it or something, you can really use that shakiness to your advantage sometimes. And sometimes I'll reserve those pieces of images to do later. Well, that helps, Kitsune.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't think in color. I think in staging more than anything. Like, I don't even know what half of my characters are at the time, but I know what my composition is before I start usually. Because I like staging a lot. To fluff and win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that's the crabby thing, Gracie, when you actually can't solve your own problems sometimes and you just have to work with them. But that ends up being a really good tool to have for life, too. So if you can figure out how to get around that, it helps with other things you'll need to get around later, too.
MacGyver.
Actually, I'm just going to load him up with lettuce. The devil's lettuce. Shapes. See? That's smart. That's knowing's half the battle, Snuggle. Good work. And I think part of me thinking of composition a lot right away is part of why I'm a decent storyteller. Because if I'm thinking of the composition ahead of anything else, then there's already going to be somewhat of a story. If you have, blob A and blob B and they're in this sort of configuration, there's already going to be a story, whether they're a blob or a square or a mouse, I can already get something going from that. Do bearded dragons eat flies like frogs do? Is Faith still here? I think she left. She's gonna make a salad. Kitsune, you've got a bearded dragon. Do they eat flies or anything? Like, I'd assume all insects. But, it'd be cute to have him actually looking at something here. This is kind of a weak butternut squash, so I'm gonna amp it up a bit. Oh, I have another good topic for a prompt for Thursday. You guys been doing the prompts in the Discord? Gabe had a good one the other day.
Oh, they're not long enough for flies. The tongues aren't long enough.
Oh,
But
so
they'll
you
eat
have to
anything.
feed him to it?
They'll eat anything.
So would it make sense that he'd be eyeing a fly, like he wants to eat it, but if it's flying around, he can't really get it? It's like, well, I'm on my way, but man, I'd really like to eat that. When he eats cat food, it'll eat flies, right? And grubs. They eat grubs too. I learned that. The little grubs are they're cute and scary at the same time. They eat grub worms.
Like little maggots.
They're not exactly that. They're like these things. They're kind of icky.
Oh.
Yeah, they have swollen butts.
Are they worms or are they just babies?
They're grub worms.
Okay.
Like, look how big this one is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they get kind of big.
Oh.
But they usually eat the little ones. This much I know. Oh, this one's huge. Oh god, I can't look at that. Whoa.
That's like movie shit.
They're huge. Let's do grub worm head. It's orange. So Miltu, they do. So my aunt has had many snakes. She had a boa for a while. She's had pythons. She used to work in a pet store, and she would tell me things like she used to take the mice, the live mice, whip them around and snap their necks to feed to snakes and stuff, but also snakes like live mice because obviously they can hunt. But yeah, she used to do that. Frozen mice, they eat a lot of stuff.
That's crazy to me. Frozen mice?
Yeah, you gotta freeze mice to have mice around. Like if you
Yeah.
have a snake at home,
Yeah.
you need like a big snake, you need frozen mice.
But, yeah, do they eat them frozen?
Well, you have to thaw them out,
Oh.
and then you can kill them. You didn't know that?
So you've got a dead mouse in your fridge.
Yeah,
thawing out.
you probably have a few dead mice in your fridge.
Oh my god. Wow.
I mean, they're in bags.
Oh, Kitsune, they eat mice too? What?
I could see that, the really little ones.
Wow.
Oh, my poor babies.
Goodness.
Do you want me to show any of the paintings you're doing on the stream?
Well, I guess I have two.
Are these new ones? Or
Yeah,
ones from
those are
yesterday?
better.
Alright guys, Gabe is doing these today. Oh, are they winter scenes? Oh, those are nice. This one's very nice. I like the sherbet sky. Really simple watercolors. These gouache too?
Just a little bit of white. Oh, I had another one.
So you can tell here he used the absence of color to use the clouds, and in this one he used additional white for the clouds. Ooh, damn, this one's moody. So these are, where's a quarter? Do you have a quarter? I knew you did, because you do it in your source. So these are as big as a quarter, about like that big.
They are artist trading card size.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Crazy. I mean, they eat live things. So I always had this, oh, the mouse chewed up half a snake. Wow. Oh shit, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could see why they'd sell mice and rats at Petco for snakes. Makes sense. But yeah, these are very strong. So, I mean, Miltu, if you look really close at this, there's not a heck of a lot going on here, and he's just using it, right? Remember, it's not really, I mean, it's the age-old, it's not what you have, it's how you use it. And this is very much that. So, like, he's got this really nice variation in all this grass, but it's really subtle and simple, and it's not crazy overdone. A lot of it seems to be influenced by the paper. Like, all these different, like, variations here seem to just be because the paper itself is rough. And then using more dry paint as opposed to more washes. Here, this variation can also help. Dude, is this guy as big as the countryside?
Mm-hmm.
You might want to make his back more dark so it looks like he's big.
Mm-hmm. A card deck, yeah.
I started to,
Yeah.
Gracie, but then I stopped because at the time I had started switching my style, so I kind of had to abandon it, but
Like, I want to do that. I want to do, like, a card deck, but I want to do, like, you know, like the face cards and, you know, like, do it proper. But, I mean, I've seen people do, like, they just throw images on card decks, which is, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a cop-out. Like, let me just put, like, 40 or 52 different pieces of my art on cards, and it's like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Gabe and I have actually talked about Gabe doing a loteria,
Oh, yeah.
which Gabe likes pimping his Mexican culture, which I think that he should. you should be proud of it. And I thought it was a really cute idea. If you guys look up Loteria, which is basically spelled Lotteria, I think just with one T.
Mm-hmm.
So Mexicans have this game, right? It's like bingo.
It's basically bingo with pictures.
It's bingo with pictures. So each card, like they have a template for it. For every card to have, like all the cards are these certain cards. So it'd be like apple or shoes.
There's like the devil and there's water.
It's almost like baby tarot.
Yeah.
Baby tarot bingo for Mexicans.
Yeah.
So he was thinking of doing his own Loteria for that, and I thought that sounded cool. I think you should.
Mm.
Doesn't look flat to me, but not like this. So that's Miltu. That's what we're talking about with the lighting, knowing how to light something, knowing how to render something, and how to do light variation and depth, like Gabe was saying.
Mm.
So if we go back to this, so things in the foreground are usually a lot darker than things in the background, okay? And especially true with landscapes, right? Things in the foreground are going to be more crisp, clear, and dark than stuff in the background. So just knowing that, you can already see in these two, he's applying that same thing, And then here, he's got a lot of things that in the foreground, these are bigger, in the background, they're receding, okay? And just how he uses color to create different planes. See, there's at least 3 here. So there's one here, there's one here, and then there's one in this very far back, which that's going to be faded more and less saturated because it's in the way, way, way far back, right? And same with here. Usually the sky at the top is darker. And then it gets lighter toward your horizon. So the horizon and the ground kind of always do this gradient of dark to light, And it depends on weather and stuff too, but learning those kind of things and how to shade stuff is really going to help you.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to study a lot, like what you might even have to like just look at photos and then try to replicate what the photo looks like. Because it honestly, like a lot of these, I do them because I can think of what that
Environment?
Yeah, what that environment looks like, and then I just go with the color that I can produce. And because I know how to make the colors, it's a lot easier for me. And as you start to learn how to create the colors with the colors that you have, then it's going to be a lot easier to produce things.
So in other words, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Gabe says you're on the right track, you just got to practice more. And like look at real things,
Gracie. Yeah, I know. The biggest thing for me, like, the thing that's holding me back is I feel like it's gonna be like the fan art thing where I'm taking an already existing product.
No, because it's more like tarot. You're taking
Yeah.
a formula. You're
No,
not
I
taking
know.
a product. So it's like if like when people do anything related to Zodiac.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Like it's an established public domain thing that people, know about. The cool thing about yours though is that, not a lot of people know what it is, but if they got it and you had like a little instruction thing,
Yeah.
you could be the guy that brings that as a crossover thing.
Mhm.
Like, oh, how did you learn about the Loteria? You're just a white guy, Oh, this dude at, Comic-Con was selling these, and it's cool. It's like bingo, but, you could expose people to that.
I
That
think
could be neat.
sometimes it get like I fear that it will be like like your sloth, where it like people only come over for it.
Oh, God, no. If anything, it's going to confuse people at first.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're in California. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and then you should be proud of it because you're speaking to the people that are there that understand what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely think that's just being smart. Mine was absolutely going against what I do to do it. You wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So it's all an intention. Remember that, guys. Everything is all about intention. If you're doing something to make money, it's probably not the best intention. If you're doing something from your heart that you want to do and it's selling well, there's not really a bad thing to do with that. You know, if it's you and you're proud of it, there's no bad thing with that. You're welcome, Meltsu. Okay, so I got the quibbies, got the crickets, got the lettuces, got the cat food. Alright, maybe I should try actually coloring this guy. It's hard because he's so many different colors.
You're welcome, Eltsu. And thank you for encouraging me, Peach, and everybody else. Thank you, Lychee, for the lighting.
Are you just worried about how, you know, a Mexican product would be received?
No. It's more like, you know how like yeah, I think it's just like I wouldn't like the attention it would bring. Not the attention, but the attention that it would steal from my actual work.
See, I don't think it would. I mean, you're gonna have that same issue then with making pens and stuff.
But yeah.
So I don't see the difference. Because right now I think it sounds like you're scared of just adding a product that's not original art or a book. That's what it sounds like.
It is that.
Is that?
It's the that immediate like recognition thing where they come over for just that. And
oh, I don't think they're gonna be able to see it. It's gonna be
but
tiny.
no, yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I can't tell if this is green or yellow in this guy's face. That's tough. So, it looks crazy right now what I'm doing with this, but his eye is actually like 3 different colors. So what I'm doing is I'm looking past all the colors that are on the front that are dark and trying to look at the base color. And I have to do this a lot with cats too, like calico cats, because they usually have a base color, and it's usually like a beige, especially for a tortoise shell. It's very beige. And then build the colors on top of that. You have to look for the lightest color and then build on top of that. So it's gonna be inaccurate at first, but then it'll, once I eventually put the other colors on, it'll make more sense. Same with here. So he's got a lot of really spiny orange beard parts. It's really crazy. All the bearded dragons I've seen in this research so far haven't been green and yellow, but this one's green and like reds
I think
and stuff.
I thought like a good sign of a healthy animal is one that is brightly colored. I think.
Oh, yeah, I mean that goes for anybody.
Yeah.
Brightly colored human, yeah.
That's true, Gracie.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Sophia, do you know anybody who's streaming right now that we should raid?
Oh, I think Papkins wanted to stream right
yeah.
after you. Papkins, are you still gonna stream afterwards?
Then use a lot of, so, Miltsu, the types of browns you use too are very important. So I would make the violin like a happier yellow brown as opposed to this kind of drab, more desaturated brown. Because this is more of a blue brown, this is more of a yellow brown. And the difference between these two in a piece like that would definitely help your mood. So making one like this color is definitely going to make it a happier piece. Yeah, vibrant shade of green and lychee's, lychee's good, I guess. Okay, so Papkins, would it be too much for you if we rated you when I was done, or do you not want that much exposure that quickly? I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
I don't know, Papkins, if you don't, I'm gonna explain what a raid is to you, because you might not know what it is, but a raid is when like a user like Ashley will say, all right, let's raid this person.
Well,
and
it's when you're ending a stream.
yeah, when you're ending a stream, and then basically there's a command that you put in, and then it shifts everyone in your stream over to that person's stream, and then you like go into that stream, and you're like, you come up with some fancy thing, you know, like Ashley would do like clover raid, something like that, and it's sort of a way to like
Exposure.
expose people in the best way possible, and it's like a nice friendly thing to do. It's like moving the party somewhere else, like you
Let's
guys,
take it to their house.
Yeah.
These people are going to sleep.
yeah, like you can't stay here, but I'm gonna take you over to this other bar that is open until 5 a.m. You know.
Basically, that's what it is. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah. Ah, Nurad.
Hi, Narad.
Buenas tardes.
So, Padkins, let me know if you are streaming right now and you know you're doing one of your cards. Let me know if you want me to raid you, because you know it'd be a good first experience, I think, for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably be ending it in the next 20 minutes, half an hour, somewhere in there. If you're still streaming. He's kind of got yellow triggers, green triggers. God, that's so hard to tell. Trick or treat, I'm a robot constantly. Hello, Grundle Twig. Oh, Gracie, you're sweet. Oh, cool, you guys know each other. That's cool. Gabe was laughing pretty hard last night, Papkins, at your kid going, what was he doing?
He was like, hello, 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 hello. Like, yo, this kid's crazy. I love it.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello.
Mostly because I do that dumb shit too. Like, hello, 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 hello.
Gabe is like a giant child. I don't know if you guys knew. That's why I'm tired all the time. He tries to talk to us. Oh no. I suppose it'd be bad if I said hi, whatever what name is, and
Oh,
then
that'd
he'd
be
be like,
cute.
oh, they can't see me,
That'd be
and then
cute
they
if you
keep
did.
doing it. Grendel, I am using marker right now, and this is just the beginning part of it. I will end up doing like more pastels and colored pencils on top of this, so it's very bare bones minimum stuff right now. What I call flats. Marker flats.
Flirts.
Flirts. Ooh, Narad, what'd you draw? God. Sometimes I think Gabe would actually like having kids.
No.
Other times, no.
Only if they can always do awesome dumb shit like that. Because then I would put a bag over my head and I would fight him in robot battle. But obviously I always win.
I think Gabe would just be a better uncle.
Oh yeah. No, I was a great uncle.
Like literally a great uncle, or
No, like a... Sort of... No, wait, no, that doesn't make any
wait,
sense.
this dragon changes colors. Oh God, no!
No.
What do I do?
Uh-oh. Pastels? What, you use pastels?
Oh no! What are pencil? Wait, what are pencil crayons? I don't even know what that is. No, these are pastels. These are pastel pencils. I mean, they're pastels regardless, though. They're still pastels.
Pencil crayons.
Yeah, I don't know what a pencil crayon is. These
Maybe
are
that's
pastels.
the same thing.
Oh, you drew Urbosa from the news off. Okay.
Oh. I think they were drawing that before.
Yeah. You're welcome, Grendel. Let me know if you have other questions. I can't tell if this is more green or Oh, pencil crayons are Canadian colored pencils. Actually, the only colored pencil I use in this is this one. And maybe a black and a white, but otherwise I just use markers and the pastel pencils.
I feel like pencil crayons makes them sound so, like, childish. Just because, like, crayons is like
Crayons
such
are
a...
childish.
Yeah, it's such a, like, a, you know, like, I'm 3, I use crayons. I'm 22, I use crayons because I'm in art school and I'm trying to be a contemporary artist. Sophia is Canadian. I like this pencil crayon.
Thanks so much. Adults use pencil crayons. That's just interesting they're still called crayons. Because, I mean, a crayon is wax. You know? Is a colored pencil wax?
Yeah, no.
What is the colored pencil made of? It's still lead, right? It's just colored lead?
What
I don't even know anymore.
What are colored pencils made of?
Lychee, you would eat crayons.
The cores are wax or oil based and contain varying proportions of pigment, additives, and binding agents. Water soluble watercolor pencils and pastel pencils are also manufactured as well as colored leads for mechanical pencils.
Okay, well.
You don't know how people can use crayons? Man, I've seen some people do some rad stuff with crayons. You just gotta, like, understand. It's not the tool that makes the artist, it's the artist that makes the sandwiches.
Sandwiches. He's right.
Subway, eat fresh.
Sniggle, are you still here or did you fall asleep?
Wait, Sophia, but, like, on the packaging, does it say pencil crayons? So,
I would
like,
assume.
so if you went to Blick, or you went to an art store and you got a box of Prismacolor Premier pencil crayons? Or not?
I could see that.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna put salt on a violin, Miltzu? Does that, like, help you play better?
What can I cook this
Lychee. I know a guy that you might like.
on?
He might be
Awesome.
underage though. He likes to eat pens. His name is Danny.
Danny, Spongy's Danny?
Yeah.
Neither Spongy nor Danny are here.
No, I know, but he loves eating pens. That's his thing. He's a pen eater. Pen eater. Damn.
Oh, I didn't even finish that. Oops.
What's wrong, Miltu? Lay it on us.
What's going on, honey?
What kind of salt are you putting on your violin? Is it sea salt?
Or are you just
No.
salty?
Use that pink Himalayan stuff. It's good for your body. That cuts ass.
I had to
at
ask the
that
guy. I said, what color is your bearded dragon? Because it looks tan in some and green in other. This one's Zamcool. I'm calling this one. Unless you want to just make me another one like it.
Someday.
Gabe made this one. It reminds me of Grigor. Is it inspired by Grigor? There's a big one and a little one.
No, originally it was just the big one, and then I was like, that's kind of creepy, cause he's like lanky, and I was like, that's really creepy. I gotta
Some
put like,
Slenderman shit.
yeah, I gotta put some cuteness in there.
Don't put provolone on tacos.
Peachcraft, yes. Don't do that.
Oh.
That's I've actually done that. I've put mozzarella on tacos. That doesn't work well either. Sometimes you don't have any cheese.
Why didn't they let you play violin, Miltsu? I mean, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Oh, thank you, Melto.
Yeah, Gabe, it's very edgy.
Edgy. I don't like the suspense you're building right now, Meltu, on why you can't play the violin.
Because I killed me on the violin.
I would have just not ate it with cheese, to be honest. I would have saved that for a tasty sandwich at a time. You played the tuba. Man, that's like a messed up choice. Isn't the tuba like 3,000 times heavier? Is that the tuba? The boom, 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 boom. Are you joining a Mexican big
Hold
band?
on.
Is that tuba?
You don't know what a tuba is?
No. Tuba. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It's that big ass thing. It's like boom, 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 boom.
No, I can't. I know. I'm just. I can't. You didn't know what a tuba was?
I did. I just said it.
He
and then
wasn't sure though. Like
I wasn't sure. I was confirming.
Because
I thought it was the one that. There's one that wraps around your stomach, isn't it?
That's also a tuba. It's a different type of tuba. So they have like, different types.
Okay.
So
Well, the one that you just carry.
you know, there's different types of saxophones too, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so similar to that, they have different types of tubas.
Mm.
One's like a marching tuba, stuff like that. Yeah, sousaphone. There you go.
Sousaphone.
I drew a sousaphone and a manatee together. It was very strange.
That's a damn good reason, Miltsu. That is a very good reason. As a non-parent and someone who actively does not want a parent, that would be my reason for not letting my...
I mean, that's why kids don't get to play the drums.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very good reason.
Or get the electric violin, like Bunny's saying, and get
Oh.
some headphones.
Yeah,
That could work.
but maybe your parents didn't know about that stuff. Also, you can still learn, Miltsu. You're just gonna be like 23-year-old Miltsu going to violin class with like 8-year-olds. That's cool. You can beat them up if they give you shit. Take their lunch money.
Oh, so it's because of your sister.
Oh.
Ah, she ruined it for you.
Oh.
Get mad.
Damn. Kiddos are occupied. Did you give them a little bit of the grandpa's medicine?
You just put some whiskey on your little thing here,
Yeah,
and you
your
pop it
fingers.
in their mouth, put it behind the tooth. Gets them out real quick.
I give my kids NyQuil.
Remember, Wednesday is the last stream of the week for us this week. And then next week we'll be back on Monday. So we're doing Monday tomorrow. Gabe's going to be 9 p.m. CST. I'm on Tuesday, 9 p.m. CST. And then we'll both be on Wednesday on Gabe's stream at 4 p.m. CST for a Valentine's Day stream. And then we go to a convention the next 4 days. And then we'll be back that Monday. I'll try to write it on my Twitter, as well as throw up the con thing that says I'm away.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you follow us on Instagram, most likely you're going to see that we're at a con from Insta stories and stuff.
Actually, you should have a Galentine's Day on Tuesday.
Oh, really, Gabe? Who would I have that with?
You
You want to put on a wig and be my
it could
gal?
be It could be Papkins. It could be Lychee, Bonnie.
Well, we're
Miltsu
a
could
couple.
be-
It's Valentine's Day. Let's draw a murder or something. I don't know. Just so we're not gonna be like gushy on Valentine's Day or anything. It won't be like that. We could probably do either really lovey-based drawings if you want, or we could do really anti-love.
So I married an axe murderer.
Yeah, it could be fun. So anyway, I think, should we go raid Papkins?
Wait, is Papkins? Oh, Papkins doesn't open.
Oh yeah,
We'll
go
see.
make sure she's streaming. Papkins, have you thought about a schedule yet for your streams? Draw murder.
I think she might actually do a schedule because she's been streaming on what's it called?
Oh, that's right, Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, but Papkins, you know streaming on Instagram isn't gonna get you new people, right?
Yeah. No, we had. Oh,
You talked to her about
she
that?
just went live.
Okay. So, drop to the lobby down couples passes. Serenity, you're not tracing those, right? I was kind of scared you were tracing them because they kind of look traced. But you're not doing that, are you? I just want to make sure. Alright, we'll be sending people over then, Patty. Get some of your drawings out to show them right when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to make sure, Serenity, because there's some things that sometimes look like, you know, somebody took a picture and then like just traced like certain parts. Just making sure. No, like, gee, it's not.
She looks determined, ready to go.
Who? What?
Hopkins.
Oh, gosh.
I'm ready.
Alright.
Whoa.
Like, she traces everything she traces. No!
We knew
Max,
that.
we were just leaving.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Oh. I'm sorry, the Max. Oh no. What time zone are you in? Are you overseas? Max, I forget. Dang, because I guess the next stream you'll be able to catch is Wednesday at 4 p.m. on Gabe's stream. Gotcha, Serenity. I just want to make sure. I think you should learn it, Meltsu. Go for it. Yeah, sorry, Max. I know, I just got the flats done on this, so we're gonna actually kick everybody over to my friend Tabitha. Dexter. Okay, so don't forget tomorrow game stream. Games. It's okay, Max. Don't feel bad. I'm sorry you missed it. Yeah, we started today about 4 hours ago. Otherwise, tomorrow we'll be on kinda late, which is early for some of you. And then Wednesday it'll be around this time actually. Starting Wednesday and Gabe stream. You're welcome, Kitsune. I hope you had fun. I hope everybody had fun today. We had fun. We got a lot done. Gabe got like 4 paintings done.
Well,
I guess in the time we were streaming, Gabe did this, he did this, he did this, and this. So, I'm not going fast enough apparently. Well, I'm doing a bigger pace. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to push everybody over to Papkins, so you guys can see what she's about. She does a monthly thing too, where you can get original art. So definitely look at that. If she doesn't mention it, bring it up. Say, "What's your ATC monthly thing?" But otherwise, yeah, we're gonna see you guys tomorrow.
yeah.
Tomorrow night or Wednesday.
Mañana.
But yeah, man. See you guys later.
Bye.
Love you. Be careful. Have fun. Eat well.
Yeah.
Get outside maybe, or do something, or paint. At least paint or draw. Come on. Paint or draw. Bye!